to meditate after last Wednesday.
Last week was intense.
You saw Wednesday, Dana?
Yes, I did, sis.
Yeah. I had to come off camera because I was not going to regret
that steam coming out your ears.
I was trying to chill and be quiet, didn't I? Though was not quiet and trying to be chill.
Yes, yeah. And Isha egged you up. Go get him. I told him to shut the fuck up and leave you alone. Go get his ass.
I said, let me get off before I say something that I'm going to regret and really embarrass myself. Let me get off.
It was too late.
Messing with you, Asia.
You saw that too, sis? You saw it, sis?
He was picking at you.
He was, because he was mad about the previous night. Someone disproportionately went back at him. Oh, please.
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely.
Like I said, if you have a fight, thank you. He said, I sure did. Like I said, if somebody coming up and slap you in the face, what you gonna do? Say, ouch, that hurts? No, I'm gonna slap you back harder or punch you in the face, try to chop your head off. That's
no.
From when you
No, you're not. No, you're not.
He started it.
He started. I finished it.
I'm just saying, you can. Yeah, if somebody comes and slap me, I'm probably gonna punch him. I don't know if I'm gonna shoot him.
I didn't shoot him. I just punched the hell out of his face.
I don't know. If you take a look back at what you was saying, that shit was a lot. Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. If I'm arguing with somebody and I say, "Yo, bro, I'm trying not to call you a bitch," did I call them a bitch?
Indirectly.
Your head kind of did.
Your head.
Like, come on, man.
It was
beautiful.
Yeah,
I
mean, I don't know. It's let the viewers decide, man.
Where is Isha?
Why you say it like that? Why you say it like that, sis?
This was on my mind. I'm asking a question.
Isha, she's probably on a date.
Oh. Yeah, she's working. She's in the comments though. She's holding us down in the comments.
I thought she shut her OnlyFans down. No.
Don't start that because she's not here.
Not come for her when she ain't here.
I thought y'all was with sexual liberation. Why is that coming for?
Because she doesn't have one. Don't put that out there. That narrative out there.
I don't know.
Here we go.
Right now already.
It's gonna be a good night.
Right. Get him, Ish.
Kev was good. Kev said, "Love, ready to fight tonight."
Kev.
Wow.
Vince, what up though? All right, everybody filing in. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that like button right now. As soon as you come in the stream, that is free. That literally pushes us into the algorithm. That helps the channel the most. Love, what's good?
What's popping?
Man, shit, everything's everything. Dana, what up?
What up? Happy Tuesday.
Now, I noticed you got your face oiled up and your hair pulled back. So you ready for a fight tonight, huh?
First of all, I'm just an oily person in general, and I got this ring light on. Number one, I was trying to block, but it's a reflection in here. I don't know. And I got the hoodie on because it's cold as shit in my basement. I had the air on all day.
Yeah, it says that's what people say right before they fight. You got. Let me ask you a question. Do you have black Uptowns on?
Hamp, I can't fight. I think we went over this already. Okay, you ain't never got to worry about me getting in a fight. I'm calling the police. Okay.
Yo, shout out to Mike Brown coming in the door. He must be feeling real soggy, man. He got that post nut clarity. He's sending super chats already, man.
What's up, Mike Brown?
Shout out to Mike, man. Yeah, man. She definitely gonna get $6 out of that 20. So, Mike, I appreciate you more than her.
I take it all. Takes it all. Even the Honduran dollar, the Honduran peso, I take that too.
Word, Kev. Appreciate you, bro. Just cause, man. That. See, this is a real representation of the community, man. Know what I mean? Tay, what up?
Hey, y'all. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, shit. Everything's everything. Big Legs was good.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to say something.
Bro, what's popping?
What's going on? We're in the best night of the week, Tuesday night.
Word.
Bup, 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 bup. How they do it? How Jamaicans do it, name? Bup, 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 bup,
Pew,
bup.
pew, pew.
Yeah, mute. Nate, what's good?
What's up?
Everything's everything.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Tired, but I'm good.
Word. Tell us about the earrings for the night.
These say queen because I am a melanin queen. We are all queens on here. All right, all of us. We are all different shapes and sizes and colors, like the complexions. All right, we all black queens. Represent.
Sis, what's good?
Hey,
What up? You got everything together? You straight?
I'm straight for now.
Why you have the most difficulty getting on, and why you always late?
I'll be right on time.
Sis, 8:58 is not on time.
Yes.
And then we have to take 5 minutes adjusting your camera, your lighting. By the time you get on, it's 9:30.
You are so shady. I'm not. I
You started early today, sis.
Like, share, subscribe. Man, that's funny,
so
man. Oh my god. Yo, Bub was good though. This everybody getting piling in. Talk Black to Me podcast. I think he questioned if what is he questioning? I wonder. The representation of Black community, Queens. Look, Vince said. Shout out to Vince. Uh-oh.
Nope. I'm real soft. I'm real fishy. Real soft and feminine. Real femme tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even
Just don't start no ish. Don't start no ish though.
All right, let's get into it, man. So the topic is the statement is women are honestly tired. So let's dive into that. What does that mean? What does women being tired mean? I feel like we've been doing a great job on this show, specifically trying to define what it is that we're talking about before we talk about it. So I feel like we should keep that up. Shout out to Alex. She kind of put that in the air. So, love, what does women being quote unquote tired mean?
So the premise of that, it can go a lot of different ways, but this is the Woman's POV podcast. And so from our perspective or our point of view, we're just tired of being misunderstood. We're tired of being misrepresented. We're tired of talking and trying to communicate, and it goes in one ear and out the other. We want to be understood. We want to be heard. We want to be seen, and those things aren't happening despite our best efforts. And so we just get tired sometimes. But we keep on going.
So you think that women are truly giving their best effort?
Majority, yes. Mm-hmm.
Dana, what you think?
I'll be honest with you. I really didn't know which direction we were going tonight, so I made a list of shit that I'm tired of as an individual. But in the spirit of defining what it is generally that women are tired of, I think Love hit the nail on the head. But I think we're just tired of the fight, of the gender wars, of the going back and forth, of being told that we don't know what we're talking about, or being made to feel like we can't make intelligent decisions for ourselves. And we're our own worst enemy, and all that bullshit, all the back and forth, all of the minutia, all of the silly shit. I think we're just tired of all of it in general.
What makes it silly, you think?
Because it's not intelligent, it's not founded on anything, it's not productive. There's no real end result to any of it. It's just bickering back and forth. It's just bullshit opinions out of people's asses back and forth. It's people imposing their views on others that weren't requested, and it's not productive.
So you haven't learned since being up here?
Learned a lot since being up here. I'm not saying that all of the dialogue and the conversations have been bullshit. I don't mean that by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, generally speaking, outside of the podcast and just in our daily lives, I think that, like I said, just the gender wars going back and forth about stuff is just, it's redundant and it's exhausting and it's not productive.
I wanna dive more into that, but first let's keep the definitions going. Tay, what say you?
I say I am tired of the narrative that strong women don't need men or want men, or independent women. Because what I define as independent is me taking care of myself. It has nothing to do with me not needing a man, not wanting a man. So I want to change the narrative, and I would like to introduce the idea that the independent woman still needs a man, or the fact that what I feel like I can do does not equate to I can do everything a man can do, because I don't think that. I know that is not true. So yeah.
I wish a man would come over there and fix your damn headphones and sound.
I wish so too.
Jesus Christ.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Big Lex. What are women tired of? What does this mean?
A lot of things. I think women are tired. Well, one, I'm tired of doing my laundry. I'm tired of doing the dishes. I'm tired of cooking. This is coming from the aspect of a single woman.
Wow.
No, but all seriousness, I think women are, and this is just from my experience, dating and kind of being out there. I think women are tired of feeling like we always have to put in the work only to not receive anything in return. I feel like as an individual, I'm constantly finding ways to change things or grow from things, but I'm still attracting a certain pattern of men or people in my life. So I think maneuvering through that, but sometimes it gets to the point where I'm just like, okay, it's definitely not me. So that's what I'm tired.
So just to clarify, a lot of people watching, you went from men to people.
Sorry,
So
I guess for me, men, that's what I'm referring to.
all right, it's a so-called free world out here. So unless you go to Uganda, be careful. Ro,
What's up?
you tell me.
I think I'm tired. No, I know I'm tired of men not having any intentions. No intention to learn about me. They rather just look at what they see and it is what it is. So I'm taking it out how it is. And so while I'm sitting trying to understand him, to be intentional, to be of service to him or get to know him, he's not doing that for me. And I find that men are doing that.
You think overwhelmingly men aren't doing that?
I think overwhelming men are not doing that.
Okay. Miss Nay, what say you?
Bruh.
I'm tired, honestly, of being overwhelmed a lot of times. When I think about like the superwoman syndrome, not every woman wants to be a superwoman. It's just kind of, I feel like it's forced upon us a lot of times. That's just my opinion. But I think we're tired of being overwhelmed with life and everything. It's so much that we, like so many titles that we have, so many roles. And then I would say, I think it was Love and Dana that said, basically being tired of proving ourselves and proving our worth and having to fight for our own voice and to be heard a lot of times. And the fact that we're on the podcast every week arguing with a lot of these men and wanting to be heard, that gets tiring. And we're being told that we're bitter and we're angry, but y'all be up here arguing with us, but we enjoy it, I guess, because we're gonna argue right back. But it
Well,
gets
yeah.
tiring, you know? It gets tired
Well-
feeling like you have to prove yourself.
But why? But the voice is here, right? This show
Yeah,
is
we do have a
popular,
It is.
right? So you know everything you ask for. It's not always going to be. There's going to be some drawbacks to it, right? So,
Yeah.
but that's what comes with it. Power comes with responsibility. So now you guys have a voice up here. So do you agree that you have to take the good with the bad?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It just gets tiring. You feel like when you're vocalizing yourself, you're being seen as you're angry and you're bitter. We're just expressing ourselves the same way men express themselves, however you guys express it. But I think that can be tiring when you feel like, okay, you have a voice and you're using it, and now you're being told that you're angry and you're bitter and argumentative.
Aren't we used to that?
Are women used to that, or just in general?
I mean, you know, there's some stereotypes that happen, and I don't think we run in the victim Olympics up here. I think we understand, you know, where we come from and how much we've gained and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if a black man gets passionate, he's often called aggressive. Same thing with black women, but you guys are called what, like sassy
Angry
or
black women.
whatever the case is. So aren't we used to that being like mischaracterized?
Yeah, we're tired. We don't want to be mischaracterized. We just want to be able to vocalize ourselves and not be told that that's what we're doing. Like we're angry black women.
Gotcha. Sis, what does women being tired mean?
You said, what does women being tired mean?
Yeah, it's scrolling.
Oh, that you were doing definitions. Okay. Women being tired. I think black women being tired is a sub within itself. I mean, our expectations are so high. You know, you look, black men take one look at us, and if we have a assertive opinion, we're looked at as masculine, which is the weakest thing I've ever heard. I just want black men to go, I'm tired of them not making their choice and just sticking to it and staying over there. We don't need to be compared to anybody. That's what I'm tired of overall.
Okay, that's actually kind of a good segue. So what I want to do is I want to approach some things, right? And I phrase the questions how I phrase them. I'm not about to amend them now. But what I want to understand is, how can we dispel some of this, if at all possible? Right? Because most time we talk about relations with men. I think that's what we're getting at, right? Sis kind of hit it. So I phrase the question, but teach us how we can learn, not do these things, stop doing these things, or better understand why these things are done. Does that make sense? All right. Let me share my screen real quick. Like, share, subscribe, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. If you know anybody that want to learn something, please send them the link. It is worth it. I'm telling you. We do Tuesdays, Wednesdays. The podcast is released on Apple every Monday at 5 a.m. and we send out 4 clips a day. We working. You feel me? All right. Let me know when y'all can see the screen. Give me 1 second. Yes.
It's loading. All right, you good.
Good.
Now, as a man who spent most of his life outside, surviving, protecting, providing, mothers, sisters, I aspire to be a stay-at-home dad. No, but when I say,
so he said that, what happened?
They started laughing.
How'd you guys feel when he said that? Be honest.
I was trying to finish I want him to finish so I can hear why.
Yeah,
I want to hear more.
But
I don't understand why they were all.
Cool.
I joined.
And this is why we say it's not a safe space for men. Y'all did not have to laugh like that.
I mean, go ahead, Mike. No, it's all right. Like I've been outside. I've served my country. I did 5 years in the military. After that, I spent 10 years on the road, over 300 shows, over 300,000 books sold. I'm tired. And I've accumulated credit, Christ, and capital. And I don't need to leave my home to make money. And now that I do that, I wish to be at home. Now, if that means there's my daughters, with me or my son's with me, then so be it. If you want to call me a simp because I'm changing my daughter's Pampers because I don't have to fight in traffic because I'm off that, then I'll call me what you want. Just don't call me broke.
Talk that shit, Mike.
Oh, so now they're not laughing so much. And I tell you what, it's crazy how.
So, quick clip. Shout out to Araco TV. He does compilations of like, you know, men kind of like checking women in this type of way or putting them in a place or fighting back, whatever the case is. So when I watched this video, I heard the laughing, right? But oftentimes up here, and we have to be honest, men come up here, right? And it could be because of what's happening in the comments. I want to be fair. But it often feels like, when somebody comes up here and says something we don't like, we start trying to kick their ass. Like, for instance, Mr. Kevin, don't be saying nothing rude in the comments. Using him as a tangible example that you guys can remember. He talk a lot. You know who the hell I'm talking about. But even when he get up here, we come at him in a particular way because he's saying what I've said before, whatever the case is. Do you guys acknowledge this, or you think it's always on the men first?
So for Mr. Kevin, I don't think that we come at him. I think we just try to get more knowledge. And he it's the last time, at least, he got kind of offended because we were saying, he said, why are you making this all about me? But it's like, no, we want to get to know you as well, because you're hearing us talk about our feelings and whatnot. He came up here trying to give advice, but it's like, well, let's hear some more about you, because people have to understand too, they sometimes come at us as if they have all the answers and that we don't. And so if we're asking probing questions because you came up here, you open the door up, what's wrong with that? So I don't think we ever disrespected Mr. Kevin. I don't think we've ever done that.
All right, so let me just be honest, okay? There's a way in which you ask probing questions. You can be condescending, right? We can ask questions in a lot of different ways, right? So let's be honest right here, right now.
I'll be honest, Ham. I did. There were some questions I'll ask him, but then when he starts to get long-winded, I kind of feel like I may have gotten sarcastic with him a few times because at this point, you asked the question, we answered it, and then he's going into this slow mode of conversation. And it's like, okay, well, let me break it up real quick so we can move it along, and he don't do it. And so, I'll say this because I'm a communications major, so I tell people all the time, I've had to learn how to talk to people, how they take in communication. And I had to
put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
I'm sorry, bro. It was you and all the football players in there. Y'all didn't learn a goddamn thing. Every time.
Put him in the fucking bedroom.
Bro, I gotta cut you off. Every time they used to come to practice, they used to forget the plays. I said, nigga, didn't you just come from class? Class making you dumber, baby boy. Let's like scam likely. That's more of a but bro, I appreciate that, right? All jokes aside. So scam likely before, like he was coming on, he was kind of like weird with it, right? But before he really started saying anything, he started describing what he wanted. Then Sis came off the mic. And if y'all cap for this shit now, you know how Sis came at him. What are you talking about? What is she? Come on now. Let's be real. Right? Nay, I don't know who Nay was. I'm just talking about the tone, the diction, the pace, the sarcasm. Nay. Now you already know. Thank you, but okay, all that, right? Neck broke, neck snapped. One time I see you put ice on your shit. Right. So I just want to, like, we know, like, how if we hear something we don't like, we have a particular approach. Y'all saying I'm bugging?
No, I don't think I was gonna say.
Go ahead, Tay.
No, because a lot of times I don't agree with what they're saying sometimes, but I don't respond the same way, because what I try to do, or what I work on doing, is active listening. And then I don't have a lot of men in my life, so I'm gonna hear what y'all gotta say, right? I'm gonna just be honest, but I might not get it. So the questions that I ask, really, I've been trying to find out. So that's why I'm not attacking the people, because this is new information for me. So, I feel like I can't challenge it. So I'll just speak for me, but.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know, though. It's good to learn.
Mm-hmm. I remember Big Lex said, "Go off, sis," to a dude.
Who said that?
You.
When?
Come on, Lex. Now you know
Wait,
I know.
no. I'm trying to run it back.
You said, "Go off, sis." You took like a breath at the end. I remember.
She was probably right. Most likely, I'm gonna stand by the woman.
No, it was a man that you said it to, and it was the week you got your teeth pulled. Yeah. See, come on now.
This was like what, 2 weeks back? Oh
I be
man,
knowing, man. I'm just saying. All right, so
run it back.
I got you. I'm gonna go get a clip real quick.
Okay.
But so, do you guys know what this acronym is? SIGN. Shame, insult, guilt need to be right. Shame, insult, guilt need to be right. Men are feeling like this. You say something, this is the response you get. You start calling them names, this, that, and the third, yada, 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 coming at them sideways, over talking. This is what the sentiment is. Now, sentiment is key. Is sentiment facts? It's how somebody feels, right? So, what, Dana?
It's just fucking laughable.
Okay.
They come up here calling us bitches every other week.
No. We're
Disrespect the condescending tone, and now some niggas want to get their motherfucking feelings. Are you kidding me?
No, you lost.
I wasn't trying to interrupt, but it was absolutely laughable to me.
Well, I mean, we can skip this one because if we're saying this.
I'm sorry, because I want to say something about this, because when you brought
I didn't even finish, right?
The example about sis and scam likely, I wanted to address that because I'd have to defend sis. Sis asked him, what is she in high school? Because what he said was, these girls that got men, they're not unique. They go to the track. They run across the track. And sis was like, what are you talking about? So basically he was sitting there saying skinny girls get men. And so she was referring to that one. So when she did come off, mute and say that to him, I just want to defend sis. That's all. I like to defend and be an advocate because it's true. And so I just wanted to bring that up. That's all. I'm sorry.
I mean, we just wasted about 15 seconds, but yeah, he was just saying that she was in shape. Sis hit him with the honey bun because sis is smart as shit and she knew what he was saying. Nigga, what are you talking about? Is she in high school? And then she started making them faces. I've been seeing her face like that since I was 3 years old. I know what she was doing.
Running track. Okay, it looks.
Get this out of here, man. I'm sick of her shit. So now look though, like, but that's what happens. What Dana wasn't doing it to me, right? But as soon as I started trying to articulate the thing that we need to try to dispel, she busts out laughing. She never laughed that hard. But this is what men are feeling, and then all you're gonna get in the comments is, see, you just proved the point. But it has to matter if we're tired, because we don't want to continue to deal with the foolishness. Since you're a little bit choppy, we don't want to continue to deal with this. So how do we dispel it? Why is that the approach? Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just trying to articulate it. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think that we can dispel it if we're having productive conversations. When the guys get up here on the panel, they're not trying to have a productive conversation with us. They're condescending to us. They're trying to tell us what we need to do, where we need to go to find the man, what we need to do to find the man, why we can't get the man because you're old and your eggs are dried up and you're fat and you're fucking ugly and all this other shit. That's not a productive conversation. Scam likely came up here talking crazy. The guy that Big Lex said, go off, sis. I can't remember his name. The one who looked like fake Jesus. He come up here trolling every fucking time. That's not a productive conversation. That's not going to dispel. That's not going to get us anywhere. If the conversation and the people who do come up here and come correct and address us accordingly as respectful people, we have very interesting and productive dialogue with. But that other bullshit, that's why it's so funny to me, because it's not meant to get us anywhere or to advance us or to gain understanding from one another. It's meant to troll. It's meant to get likes. It's meant to get follows. It's meant to... Scam likely came up here and said, I'm just going to troll y'all. What the fuck? And now y'all butt hurt? I don't want to hear that shit. That's whack to me. And I think that's not what we're talking about. If we're talking about real conversations, if we're talking about real shit, then we can get somewhere. But that's not what is happening here. And the narrative that these men who come up here are offended is just beyond laughable to me. So they can go to hell with that shit.
And he said,
I feel like I'm gonna skip this because I see that it's focused on. I try to use tangible examples so we can be on the same page, but now we're just focused on those examples.
Let's bring
hold on. And I was hoping that you guys can help us understand why we feel like that's the approach. Instead, we're saying we should approach like that because of how they approaching us. So a lot of the stuff that Dana mentioned, they may deliver it in a particular way we don't like. It doesn't make those things any less true. But I understand we've got to fight fire with fire sometimes. But I'm just telling you that shame, insult, guilt, the need to be right is what men are thinking women do too often. So I want them to understand. Maybe y'all can break it down. If this is the wrong 7 women, let me know.
Amp, I agree with you. Actually, I think sometimes, and I had to learn this. I think when we want to get our point across, when we're talking to men, we have to do some more listening more than responding to them. Because I think we are responding to them based off the comments. And then when they hop on here, they're riled up from whatever they're commenting about. And they want to come on here and say something to us. And then we are responding to the comments that they put. And that's the energy that they're putting out there, Hamp. And I think that when they come on, they're talking to us a certain way. And then we're responding a certain way. So, for every action, there's a reaction, right? And so even though I get what Hamp is saying what they're saying, it may be right, it may be wrong, but he's saying, I guess we should be listening to them to respond to them in a way in which it is productive over responding to them based off of how they're coming at us, because we're coming at it defensively. Am I right or wrong? I don't know.
I think you're wrong. I completely disagree.
Okay. Wait. So when John the Baptist, I think his name is, last week came up, I think we were very respectful to him. And we all did not necessarily agree with what he was saying, but we would listen to what he had to say and then ask questions to get clarity or to give our viewpoint. What do you think about this? We actually had a dialogue with him. And I didn't necessarily agree with everything. I mean, all of us did. Some things, we did, some things we didn't. But that's an example of sign language, as you are putting it, was not given to a man that came up here that had a differing opinion. It is when they come up here clownish is when they may get this sign language. And then how dare you feel offended? Well, you can feel how you want to feel, but I don't understand how someone could be offended when you come up or approach someone clownish and then you get a reaction from that. I always say you can't.
I don't think he was saying, I think those were just examples as we're on here, but I think in a day-to-day, I think men are feeling this way. I only say that because I have a teenage son. I have to watch how I say certain things to him because I don't want him to talk to a female in response to how I, as his mother, might say things to him. And so that communication from whether it's a mother to a son or a man to a woman, we have to understand how they're taking in the communication part.
So my response to that is, if, for example, off the podcast, because how people talk to me in real life and on this podcast are two totally different things.
That's
if
true.
I'm talking to a man in real life, face to face, and we have a difference of opinions, how he approaches me is totally different.
Not all of them though, right, cousin? I mean, some men do.
No man is reckless talking to me in real life.
For shock value.
In real life?
I'm not saying for shock value. I'm just saying in general. Sometimes men have conversations with us, and I ain't gonna say we black out, but sometimes we are responding in a way where it is dismissive to them.
No, I don't. I'm gonna tell you, I do not. I always ask the question. So are you saying? I want to always repeat myself. So what I heard you saying is, I do those kind of statements,
right? And somebody might take that offensively. Somebody might take that offensively because of it sounds. It may not be. It may not sound offensive to you, but they may take in communication and be like, why is she talking to me this way?
Asking what you meant, and I'm hearing it this way. Did you mean it this way? That's communication, ensuring
that is communication, but it is also talking to them. Sometimes when we talk to our kids, we talk to them the same way, and that might come up.
Wait, talking like what? I'm asking you, like, if I'm
talking like what? We might be they might get as if we're talking to them as if they are children. If we're asking, can you please repeat that? Can you clarify to me what you're saying?
Why are you talking who's talking like that? I'm not talking like that when I say that.
You might not think you are, but I'm just saying.
Let me get a couple. I mean, I think you guys are missing communication too. Body language is so important. And some of us, and if you want to know who, you can ask after, have very poor body language as well. Right? We speak in so many different ways. And I think we need to make sure we are assessing that part too. So Dana, love, disagree. Sign language is provoked, maybe. Tay, what say you?
I don't necessarily agree with this statement because I don't think it's a go-to for me. In particular, I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I'm just going to speak for myself on this. I know that I'm open to hearing, whatever other side of the story may be, or somebody's take on something. So where I am, I just think you have to be receptive, no matter where you are in the conversation. If you're attempting to hear the person, really hear them and get their point. Not necessarily that you agree with them, but it's okay to say, okay, I agree to disagree, but I get your point. And I think that's what we're missing here because we're so busy thinking about one incident when overall the point is, this is what's happening. And the question is, how do we respond to that? How do we make it so we can change it? Because we are the elements of change here. So yeah, that's my two cents.
Yeah. Hey, Tay, can you read this for me?
Shout out to Gary Grant with the 22, was that Canadian dollar super chat. Ladies, I think you are missing what young HAMP is saying. He means you never have to go to the other's levels. As grown-ups, we must not get triggered with words. Wait for the actions, sticks and stones.
Shit like that.
Mr. Grant was good. Hey, man, we still got some Pampers left from the last time you showed love. We appreciate it. These motherfuckers getting big, though. I appreciate you, bro. Mike Brown with the $10 super chat. I don't think you all look for clarity as much as you look for a weak point in these men's arguments to embarrass them mostly.
Wow.
Interesting. And that might be something.
And so
Sis, what'd you say?
Back to the original question. This is what we're tired of. This is a great example of what we're tired of. You ask us what we're tired of, and then we proceed to do exactly that. And it's taxing for real because we're not really saying anything wrong. What I wanted to say way back when you mentioned Kevin was, you can't come up here insulting our intelligence either. Kevin married a woman that's 12 years younger, and he moved out of the country, wherever he at. You feel me? So don't come up here insulting our intelligence like we don't know what the hell that is. You know what I'm saying? So we've listened to Kevin over and over and over. And then we finally say something, now there's something wrong with us. That's what we're tired of. This right here.
Okay. All right. So I mean, let's move on this one because I don't think we will gain clarity from it. So that's why I made sure I preface Nika D with the $2 super chat. Preach, Tay. That's why I prefaced my questions with, hey, help us dispel some of this. But I don't know if we gain much traction off it. And maybe there is no traction. Maybe if you feel offended or feel tired or don't want to be condescending or take somebody's conversation a particular way, they will receive shame, insult, guilt, and need to be right. But this is a sentiment. But I guess we just won't.
Hamp, I wish you wouldn't abandon it though.
Well,
I don't want you to abandon it.
I kind of have to, because I just don't feel like we're getting anywhere with it.
I think we could, but I think that as you mentioned earlier in the conversation, that talking about the people who come on this podcast and who address us, it's a totally different conversation when you're talking about that versus what happens in real life. And the responses that we were offering were based off of one narrative and not the other, one thought or one space and not the other. But if the goal is to truly gain some clarity and some understanding between the two genders on how we can, really communicate better with one another, I think that's a really good conversation to have. And I think that we would have some wonderful things to say and contribute to that conversation, but that's just not the direction it was going in at first.
Yeah, so I use them as tangible examples to give perspective of what sign language looks like.
Right.
So that was the point of it. Like, this is how it presents itself, regardless of what got it there, how it got there, who the antagonist was. This is what it looks like. This is how men feel women are talking to them and communicating. So how can we dispel this? How can we get away from sign language? Hey, read this for me.
Nika D, thank you for the super chat, $2. They're offended by simple dialogue.
So, can I ask you a question as a man? Because I honestly, I don't understand. Okay, let me try to get the right question. I don't understand. Is this a majority sentiment of all men that they feel shamed, insulted, guilted, and we need to be right every time they talk to us, or when we're having a dialogue? Because is it because we have a difference of opinions they feel the sign language? I'm trying to figure that out. Is it if we disagree, is that the sign language?
So,
or I don't get it.
Well, just like that video I played, that the laughing, the condescending nature, insult and see, you can't hear, but all you can hear is the laughs. What did he say that deserved him to be laughed at?
Nothing.
And people talking under their breath and things of that nature. That's what's happening. When men tell you what they want, you tell them why they shouldn't want those things. Not you, but this is what men are hearing. Or he got to move out the country to get what he want. Yada yada yada. But the passport borrows is a phenomenon for some reason right now. Because
some are on the internet crying right now too. They're saying they're getting raped, robbed, and murdered. I suppose I saw.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have a few. But there's so many men traveling that aren't the big names that are going and doing this. But again, we can't. I mean, you don't have to believe it. It's fine.
I'm trying to get clarity. Like, I don't want you getting frustrated. I just want to get clarity.
I'm not getting frustrated. I'm addressing two different things at once. So I was addressing what Sis said. So you see the big name guys, right? They got into some trouble. But I had 10 buddies just go to Colombia 2 weeks ago. They weren't on the news. You know what I mean? They just go and do what they do and come on back. But now I kind of lost what I was thinking to tell you, Asia, when you asked that question. I was about to say something. There was another gentleman who was saying like he's a high earner. He has both parents. He's educated. He has all these things, and he's not dating a woman with children. And immediately, the two women on it hopped on him and said, why not? He was raised by a single mother, all that other stuff, as opposed to just listening to what he wants for his life. And they try to shame him because he was raised by a single mother. So why doesn't he want to accept that for himself? And he said that the single mothers out here should make better decisions. And they jumped all over him about that. So that's what happens when men start to say, I want this, I want that. I don't want this for myself. I wouldn't want this for my children. They get jumped on.
Yeah, the guy that said he wants to be a stay-at-home dad, he said that outright like that for shock value and for a reaction. That's not a that's not consistent across men. They want to stay at home. This panel has been saying men do what? Provide and protect. So he said it like that for shock value. That's what he got.
Well, did he have to get? Let me ask you a question though, because now you finally making some sense. Did they have to respond like that, or is that what we talking about here? Why did they have to laugh him out as opposed to hear him out like you guys chose to do when I paused the video to ask the question?
I think the setting was already that type of atmosphere, but he said it like that for a response so he can then shut them down and explain it like he did.
Yeah.
He's not broke. So
Yeah,
he
no,
doesn't
I
need to
understand.
work.
Like sis just said, the setting, right? It's on something else, right? It's something around women making them respond as such. So if you guys aren't culpable, then we don't need to have the conversation. You're saying it's the conduct, it's the setting, so on and so forth. That's why I've been trying to like move on.
I'm not saying they should have laughed. I'm saying that's what he wanted. That's what I'm saying. Is that's exactly what he wanted, and that's what he got.
That's what I'm saying. If it ain't on the women, he got what he deserved. Like sis just said, why are we having this conversation? It's a moot conversation.
So 2 things. I want to respond.
Read this for me real quick.
Thank you, Will. The $5 super chat. HAMP. I agree with 90% of what you are saying. However, some of the guys who joined the panel are a little disrespectful. Thank you. That's why you're my favorite. So I want to address though, HAMP, because I honestly don't understand. And I think you started to explain it, but you didn't fully finish your thought. But is it because we don't agree? It is not shaming or insult. I mean, for example, if I'm asking you a question, help me understand it. Or I don't agree with that. I think X, Y, and Z, right? How is that sign language?
Yeah, so if we have to use tangible examples, we're not asking so it doesn't feel like a lot of questions are asked to gain clarity. It's to gain gotcha moments and how they're asked and how we approach. But if you guys can't see it, we don't need to keep having a conversation. But here's one thing I do know. If I take Tay as an example, I've never seen her have like a real back and forth. Is it because she's so fresh and new to this that she just literally just like, well, these niggas just talking, I'm just gonna listen. Even Chaotic tried to bait her one time. He didn't really get almost, but she's like, I don't know, have several seats or whatever corny shit y'all say, but it didn't like, blow up. So why is that? Is it the approach or is it all on the men?
So it is what it is. If a man, when they come up here, I think Dana said it, are they really coming up here for a dialogue? Or are they coming up here to have gotcha moments? Or are they coming up here to make their own moment and have, and have their shine? And you have to admit, several, if not majority, like I said, I can literally name 2 right now. They did not come up here trying to make, 3 maybe, I think 2. They're not trying to make a moment. Hink not trying to make a moment. Sir John the Baptist not trying to make a moment. Those 2 did not. And they got a certain reaction. They didn't get the sign language, as you call it. They did not. And again, we did not agree with everything that they said, but we still listened and we had a dialogue. We asked questions and whatever, even though we didn't necessarily agree with everything they said. If you come up here with the man come up here with an accusatory tone or accusations and saying, well, you don't have a man because you're overweight. How do you think someone is going to react to that? That's the part that baffles me, that men feel it's okay to say and approach a woman like that. And then we should just sit back and take it and be soft and just take that. We're tired of that. That's my list.
I mean, most women we know aren't soft. And you having men talking about more than ever. And unfortunately, we're starting to talk to you guys how we talk to each other. Because God damn, she live in a goddamn submarine, I think.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
So it's just, so you starting to get talked to how we talk to each other.
And that's sad. Do you think that's okay? I don't think it's okay. Do you, as a man, think it's okay?
I think this is what it is at this juncture. I don't want it to be like that. But if women keep hitting men and talking them any kind of way and talking about we equal, you got to be equal on all fronts now.
I don't agree with that.
Equal rights, equal lefts. That's what some men think.
Equal rights, equal what?
Yeah, you hit me if you want to.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't agree with hitting a man. We've all said that up here. You don't hit a man.
No, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but you know what I'm saying? So, but men are starting to deal with women like they deal with men. And you getting men that are tired, and now there's platforms that now everybody just speaking out. Because we said for so long, men ain't been saying nothing. So now we saying something, but it ain't coming out in a way in which is super palatable. Go ahead, Lex. Then I just want to get Lex, so you can jump in then.
I just want clarification. So you said, men and women want to be equal, and
not men.
What? I'm sorry.
I said women want to be equal to men. Okay.
So So can you clarify what is unacceptable? What shouldn't be? I may be messing up my question, but basically, what should not be acceptable for a woman to ask equality from a man?
Say it one more time.
Ladies, feel free to jump in if you kind of understand what I'm saying. So
if men want to talk to us and treat us like men because they're in the belief that we want to be on equal setting with them, when we talk to them a certain way, we out communicate them and we can talk with them and get with them and hurt their feelings, we should be criticized for that. Is that what you're saying, Hamp?
Big Lex, I think. Is that what Big
Lex?
Is
that what you're saying, Lex? Is that what you're?
Yeah. So is there certain areas that you'd be like, well, women, they're asking equality in this area, which is, fuck it, just drop. Never mind.
No,
I asked the question and I feel like I kind of
Big
saying
Lex.
it out of my mouth. It was all over the place. Yes.
No, you're fine.
Put him in the fucking bedroom.
What I'm saying is, I think I understand. I just think men are just talking to women how we talk to each other. Like I think that's just the plane of it. Like we will say, "Yo, get your fat ass in the gym" or whatever the case is, and now it's being said to y'all, and y'all don't like it that much. But this is how we talk. It's pretty direct, and I don't know. I think it is disrespectful, but I don't even know if that's always the intent. Sometimes motherfuckers just get up here and they see all the heat and get up here like, listen, you overweight, get in shape, put them in the bathroom. Well, put them in the bathroom, whatever. So I think that's just what's happening now.
And so how should we respond to that? Because again, what's going to happen is it's just a back and forth conversation and somebody going to end up getting their feelings hurt.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I think we are naturally more built for it though. I don't know if you guys are built for it to like take it, because the men just talk like Rock. Shout out to Rock. Rocco stand up here. Yeah, Rocco and Jesus was dark and ugly. He ain't look like Rock. So Rock will stay up here and get pounded by all of y'all. Pause. And he be shooting fire, corny ass jokes, internet messing up, but he just stay and he get back in the chat, get kicked off. Will was his man, then he turned on him, like so. But he stay and come back and fight. Do women have the same reactions? I know Rock slept like a baby. I know he did. But when we get out of these dog fights, how are we feeling after the fact? We meaning you guys on the panel. I don't know if you come away with that same calm. It might bother you a little bit, right? Because you're not built in the same way.
Does Rock really sleep good at night after that? Because he would come back weeks after.
Please don't go on the.
I'm not allowed to bring it up. Never mind.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying that I try to use an example to just make the point, and then we focus on the example.
But I don't know what to say.
I feel like with that example though, to come from a conversation and clearly be rattled, right? Clearly there are words said from the other party that are not nice. They're mean, they're offensive, and I'm supposed to lead with grace with that if someone's attacking me with their words.
Say that last part again.
I think I got what she meant. It sounds like that's what the men want you to do.
I feel like some people come on the panel, right? And
with it bad intentions?
Bad intentions, or just ready to get off whatever they want to say. And I'm supposed to answer that with grace after you've just ridiculed me. You've used your words to attack me, to down talk me. Like, I'm supposed to lead with grace with that.
Hey, Lex, I'm I'm saying that Lex, read this for me real quick.
Yeah. Super chat, perfect wisdom. Thank you for the $4.99. You signal out Tay because her makeup made her different with nice comments.
What?
There was a comment earlier in the chat where somebody was saying that Tay was full face makeup and men gave her a 7 or an 8 rating. Even though they claim to not like makeup, and the other women got a rating of 3 to 4 with no makeup on. So that was in response to that. They were saying they singled Tay out, not signal her out.
Oh, okay. I think I understand it. If they super chat, I can read it.
Didn't.
Yeah, because I want to understand that more. Yeah. So Lex, here's the thing: we know what we do right now, and we know what's not working. And we know that the gender war continues and kind of pulls us apart. I'm telling you guys that men communicate like this with each other. Now they're communicating with women like that, right? And then women are fighting fire with fire. What happens if the women were to change their response?
I don't think that's the case though, Ham. I think that shit happens online. It happens on social media. It happens on platforms like this. I won't speak for all of the other women on the chat, but I don't experience that in real life. I think that, the gender wars exist for shock value, for likes. That's also on my list of things that I tired of. People saying and doing shit for likes. But in real life, if I'm having a conversation with a man, it's not combative like that. It's not, the sign language, all of that. It's not.
But Dana.
Yeah.
1 in 4. No, let me say it this way. 3 out of 4 Black women aren't married.
Okay.
They aren't getting married. We have the highest amount of single mothers. Black men were dating Black women at 87% just a few years ago. Now it's at like 82%. So I'm not saying it's all on you guys. I'm just saying that you're saying that it's on these panels, but you also may be assuming a lot of people go outside. You know how many people stay behind these computers? Right? Yeah. It's safer this way. I bet you you'll see it. Has this ever happened to you? You'll see a dude out and then he'll DM you later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never had to said a word. Right? He might be just joking. Hey, Dan. And then you was looking good. Why you ain't say that, my nigga? I just seen you. Right? So these computers tell a lot of the large part of the story. And I just think our marriage rates and the divorce rates and I don't know if what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but do the numbers back it up is all I'm saying.
I hear you. So can I ask you a question, Ham, real quick?
Yeah.
So you said men come up and they're finally talking, they're saying things, and then we react because they're talking to us like the other men. Can it be that, why is it that we have to change? Somebody has to change, right? I get it. Why can't we change our response to them talking reckless? But could it be the other way around? Could the men be the leaders and guide the conversation and come, not perfectly? I get nobody's perfect, but could you at least try to talk to us? Not like we're your homeboy, right? And Like, can men try to talk? Not like we're dudes.
When I do the locker room, I'll ask them.
Okay.
But we're not on the locker room, and this is an opportunity for 7 well-educated, beautiful, smart, intelligent women to step up and maybe say, hey, let me rest in this so-called femininity that I want to live in, and see what the response is. Read the super chat for me.
Gunny J. Wells with $10 super chat. A clear example is Love not being able to handle direct conversation last week and getting off the show. They are not built for criticism. So let me address this super chat. I got off the show.
Go ahead.
Oh, I got the show last week on Wednesday because I didn't want to have a reaction in which I would regret. I felt that Gunny was picking. I was purposely quiet. I was purposely not reacting. And he kept on picking and saying, oh, Love is mad. What's wrong with Love? She mad. Kept on picking and picking and picking. I was quiet, just sitting back on mute. And so then he kept on picking, and then the other guys jumped in as well. And it just became a melee. I felt 3 guys talking crap towards me and about to me, directly about me. And so instead of reacting, and then Gunny said, look at her outfit, she had the same outfit on, like digging and talking reckless to me. So I got off the show because I didn't want to fight. And I felt the best thing for my peace of mind and to keep myself at peace, because I'm protecting my peace, is to get off the show, because what he said and did was unnecessary. And it was retaliatory from the previous day, because we were fine the entire show. If you all look back at it, no issues. We were very agreeable. But when he saw blood, because me and him, that's what we do. Me and him just go at each other, whatever. And Adrian and Chief saying things, that's when Gunny jumped into it. And so I felt I'm not going on his level, lowering myself to his level. And so I got off the show because I was not going to lower myself and regret my reaction. So I am built for criticism. What I'm not going to do is belittle myself and play in the mud with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot. I think there's a little bit more context, but I don't want to go too deep into it. But there was a follow-up from Tuesday that I think it's important to acknowledge, that you went in the dumpster on Tuesday.
I say retaliatory. I said that. I said retaliatory.
Yeah, but retaliating to what though, right? You went in the dumpster on Tuesday.
Because
and then he went under the dumpster on Wednesday. And
so but
I'm just saying, just in terms of the audience, right? Because it's fair. You got to be fair.
I will be fair, but I just go to dumpster first. Let's be. If we're gonna start from this, we're gonna start. I didn't start the dumpster with.
I don't really want to. I want to get something out this conversation, but I just want to add some clip. You guys can go. I'll put the clips in the comments, so you guys can see the 2 clips to see kind of what it is that we're talking about. The clips are doing pretty well too.
I just have a question here.
Can you read this for me first?
Yep. Kevin 3905 $4.99. Thank you. To answer Lex's question, you're supposed to always lead with femininity, no matter what the other party says or how it's delivered. So my question leading into my question, even if she went into the gutter on Tuesday on Gunny.
Sure.
On Wednesday, it was okay for 2 other men to jump in and gang up on her. So that's the part where we're going beyond, where it's one-on-one, back and forth, where a female and a male are going back at it with one another. And then now we got Amos and Andy jumping in to tag team one female. Now, how is that fair?
Yeah, so if I recollect the situation, I think the door was kind of opened with Mr. White when he brought it back to Love saying that she was staying in her femininity for the night, but she quote unquote came out of it when her and I were bantering, which is like a part of the show. Right. But I don't know if that's piling on. That's kind of what started it. And then Chief and Alex were laughing in the back chat saying, is Love going to be able to stay in said femininity? And then when her quote unquote femininity broke, they were laughing because they're like, I told you Hamp was going to get her before Gunny or somebody. So when they were laughing, it's actually Chief and Alex. They got like a wager to see how long she's going to stay in her femininity. So you see that laughing even independent from Mr. White. And now it feels like a pile, but is it just these things coincidentally happening almost simultaneously?
So even if we were in person, Hamp, and all of this was taking effect in person, that would look like a gang of people ganging up on one person.
From afar.
Yes, it would. So even if we envision it, we don't know we didn't know the ins and the outs. The fact of the matter, it looked like everything was coming on one person.
I understand.
And it was really a banter that we all know you and Asia have, Love have on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So for people to start doing other things, and then Gunny knowing for a fact that Love really don't mess with him like that, he jumps in just to get it. That's like somebody just jumping in and getting a hit.
No, I understand, but that was he saw the opportunity. But now that you understand the dynamics of it, does that change your perspective?
I understand it overall. It wasn't just him, but the fact of the matter is, in the streets, if you know I don't like you, why are you coming over and involving yourself? Why are you involving yourself in something that had nothing to do with you? You took your chance. Now, if one of us as females respond to you and we start going in on you, then we're not in our femininity.
No, I got you. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you what happened.
I'm just saying as an example overall.
And we're on a show, so people have to engage. Like Gunny doesn't have to sit back because Love is talking and she don't really mess with him like that. Like he could say whatever he want to say, and if there's a lane, but hold on, right? If there's a lane opened up and he takes it, that's not. I don't know if I would be like, don't take that lane, right? If you got smoke for somebody.
You're right, but all I'm saying is he can't be in his sign language because we come at him on another day. Because if he come on here live, we might come at him just because he went on her on Wednesday. That's a response. Because every action, there's a reaction. You don't know how it's going to come to you.
Yeah.
And so you can't get
and
mad
did
about that.
now. And did it again just now. So it's like,
well, but the point was, can women take that criticism, take that smoke, and keep on pushing? And sign language is not mine. I don't even know if Kevin Samuels originated it. I'm not sure if he did. Maybe he did. That's not my acronym. What I'm telling you is you guys cannot take that comment, criticism, smoke, physical violence in the same way in which we can. That's all. And that's not a bad thing.
Definitely came to physical violence. I would never fight a man. I ain't fighting no man.
But all of it though.
With my words, yeah. I mean,
but I'm not talking about duking. I'm talking about even with us with each other. But like you guys don't have the same makeup. But there's things that you guys can take better than us. But we're talking about this right here.
The sign language piece.
Just the back and forth, that real criticism. But we've been doing it forever. You know, if you ever heard of Snaps, you ever watched that? It was like a Snaps book. Your mama's so fat, this and the third.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it was a show, and it was all men at the end. There was one woman, and she started crying, and the dude was like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, what are you crying for?" Because it's just not the same. Somebody please read this $2 comment.
Shout out to Hood Mystic with the $2 super chat. We need to talk to your boyfriends and husbands.
One more. Perfect Wisdom with the $5 super chat. Where is the guy with the leaves? He shut you men down. I think she's talking about unlikely. It's yeah, and I think that we like what Unlikely was saying. I don't know if it was all positive. He used the word bitch 1,000 times, but because it was for Hot Girl Summer, nobody had an issue. I think that kind of goes into the point a little bit real quick. Perfect Wisdom with a $5 super chat. Real men don't follow, they lead. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We got one more. Damn. Shout out to Perfect Wisdom. Wow. Is this show about men bashing women? I'm out. All right, we'll see you later.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, if you got that from us having a conversation, I mean, you probably just not listening too much. All right, so cool. Nay, man, Nay must be sober as hell.
I'm actually not, but
Oh, you drunk? She either on one side of the.
I'm tired. I'm tired today, but I'm listening. What's up?
Final thought on this, Nay. It's a good, but Dana was right though. It's interesting.
I was listening and I automatically thought maybe when men are saying this and we're reacting, I don't think it's necessarily our go-to. I think it's a trauma response. We are tired in a sense, like if you come at us a certain way, that then trauma says, you know what, I'm gonna come back at you because I'm not gonna tolerate this. So I think that's what it is. And men are also doing the same thing. Maybe they're like, I'm tired of women not listening, and so they're reactive too. That could be it. So we're both of us are being a little acting in our trauma responses. That's some healing that we need, but
damn. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. And that's what I mean by listening. Perfect Wisdom, I believe, is a female. I don't know why this comment came up if you listening to us have this conversation. Maybe she doesn't have context of what we were talking about in terms of the when love had the back and forth. Maybe that's it. So I feel like she's intelligent for sure. What are the likes at? We got 82 people watching. The likes got to be at least 81. Does anybody have the YouTube up, or do I need to pull it up? Nobody? What are the likes, man? Because I'll go to commercial. Matter of fact, I need to go to commercial anyway. Let me go to commercial until they get these likes up. The likes need to be at least 99% of the amount of people watching. Shout out to We Major Clothing, Direction CYOP. They just came out with a couple dope different what's it called? Line for the summer. It's a hat and t-shirt combination too that I just copped. So shout out to We Major, Direction CYOP, choose your own path.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something.
Pace it. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
We got commercials. Oh shit!
That
like that.
lit,
Like
y'all.
that.
We got commercials. It's lit.
Word. All right. Shout out to Bub, man. I'm gonna put the link in the description. I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. DirectionCYOP.com. Shit is fly. It's well priced and it's worth it. The quality is awesome. You know, people grinding. All right, I want to ask this question. I'm gonna drop the link to see who want to join the panel. Questions, comments, or smoke. Dana, what'd you say? But because I want to dive into this because I know that you guys are tired, but I want to attack some of the stuff that we can do differently from our side. And obviously, I'm talking about us here. Even though I'm not a girl, but about. Do I need to pause just in case? What maybe how we can break down some of these stigmas, some of these barriers that men are finding with women, especially in our community. So this one is big. How can we solve the lack of accountability stigma on women? And Adrian, we probably got to do a part 2 of this because I got way more in that video too, but we probably won't get there. How can we solve the lack of accountability stigma on women? Now, you guys know we think that you guys think accountability is a 4-letter word. We hate the way you guys think you take accountability. We think that by the time you guys are apologizing, you only apologizing to make yourself feel better. We don't even think it's for us. Because it takes 2 goddamn weeks for y'all to say, I'm sorry. And we think that you guys rather say, I won't do it again. I apologize. I was wrong. But we don't often hear, I'm sorry. Those 2 words. So, how can we break down this lack of accountability stigma?
Did y'all ever hear I'm sorry from your mom?
Us as a whole?
Black men as children. When your mom did something, did y'all ever hear I'm sorry?
I've heard that a lot of black men were coddled, which is why our behavior was so poor. And we see that with some of the, some of our results in terms of how well we do in school, prison, pipeline, the whole 9 yards. So if we were coddled, then I'm saying yes. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know if coddling comes with I'm sorry.
Or let me ask this. Have your mother ever or your parents ever taken accountability for something they did wrong?
Yeah.
Because
I don't think. Well, I think our parents in our age, I don't know. Maybe not. Right.
The older generation
like
you
didn't even know why you got in trouble, or you didn't know what the reason was behind it. Stop crying right after you get a spanking that never made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you get hit, you gotta stop crying. If you got, with the sis, what we used to get, the cable cord, that motherfucker hurt, man. Good God. That cable cord, no joke. You be patting each other down, you got webs and shit. So you gotta stop crying immediately. But Ro, what was the point for that?
My point was we weren't raised to take accountability. Generation X, millenniums, we weren't raised to take accountability. We were self-governed, self-raised. Then you can look at that if you want to. We were self-governed, self-raised. We had to go in and do what our parents told us to do, regardless of asking any questions. If they did something, they did not apologize. They did not hold themselves accountable. And so when we're in these relationships, we are not fully holding ourselves accountable. And we are not holding them accountable. We learn accountability as a life lesson. It's a response. It's not something that we just knew to do.
I have to disagree. I think it's our parents and our grandparents, that the older generation, that is not accountable. I think our generation, like us here on the panel, I think we are in that age group where we're trying to break those generational cycles, and we're the ones that want to be accountable.
Well, that's what I said.
Self-reflection.
That's what I said. It's a life lesson. It's a life lesson, learned lesson. It's not something that was bred and put in us as children to do that. We didn't get that way until we started experiencing these relationships with friends, with relationships, intimate relationships, to understand how we're treating people. And that's how we learned how to get to be accountable. It's not something we're born into. And so my point is, it's something we're constantly learning and trying to perfect.
Okay, I guess it's the way you phrased it at first, but okay.
That was my point.
Okay.
So to answer your question, Hamp, I think we do. Depends on your experiences for you to understand accountability when you're in relationships with people. And I think it is a constant lesson that we're learning to try to be better. It's not something that is automatic.
Ro, I can kind of understand where you're coming from with this one a little bit. And as you were talking, and I'm honestly racking my brain about this because I don't understand the stigma at all. And I understand that it exists and men genuinely feel this way, but I for the life of me, I don't know why. But to your point, I think it goes along those lines. I mean, when our parents would say things like, because I said so, do this because I said so, or it is what it is, don't question me, yada, yada, yada. I guess I can see how that can kind of come into play in our romantic relationships as well. It's like, don't question what I'm saying. I'm not wrong. Just shut up and deal with it, or it is what it is, kind of thing. So
right. When we had that discussion about the man saying that he could tell me how to be a wife, I should just do what he say.
Right.
That comes from, again, this thought process of, my parents told me just do what I say. I saw my father just telling my mother just do what I say to do, and that is not that's not productive.
Whether it's right or wrong.
Exactly.
I can understand that.
And women do it. We do it when we're in relationships because we want something a certain way, and so instead of engaging in a full learning how that person takes in communication, we're just like, we like it this way. We don't tell him why. We just say we like it this way. We don't want to do nothing else. We like it this way. And he's like, well, I'm not used to that. I don't know how to do that. Or if he doesn't say it, he responds in a defensive manner. So that was my whole point of that. I just think that we are not taught accountability. It is something we're learning through the process that we're still doing. Now, our kids are a little different, right? Because they're going to get it. Because we talk to them, we communicate with them, we tell them why they got to do certain things, we engage them in conversations, but we also hold them accountable. They're going to be different than us. And I say that only because my daughter, they as a friend group, they hold each other accountable. I didn't learn that until I became an adult, with adult friends. I think that is very important. Accountability is something that we as generations, we just didn't learn. And it's just a learning process.
So it just Hank the basement $2 super chat. Hank, what's good, man? We'll see you tomorrow. Good evening, HAMP and the ladies. Word. Shout out to my brother Hank. Please follow his channel, like, share, subscribe. If any of the moderators are in here, get Hank's link and drop it in the chat, please. Now, Ro, I hear you. Wait, don't it just further the point? Like, we ain't accountable for our lack of accountability? Just like, good grief. Not only we accountable, it's our parents' fault. I just feel like that it just furthers the point. Anybody else got something on this? How can we break? Because Rose said why, so it's compounded. That was a great point. But now, like, goddamn, how do we break the stigma?
And I have a question on the question. So how do we solve the lack of accountability stigma on women? I don't know if you can resolve or solve a stigma. People are going to think what they think, but we can just be more accountable as women, as a human race. First of all, it's not just a woman problem; it's a human race problem. But nevertheless, I'll answer the question. As we get older, more emotionally mature, emotional intelligence, as that rises and we go through the maturation process, that's how, as Rose said, we're more accountable because we've learned adult relationships. We want to mature them. Solving the stigma, that's the part that's throwing me. How do you solve a stigma? You don't.
Well, I was trying to be diplomatic and asking the question, right?
That's the right way. You really want to do it.
Well, no, because I'm not. So I'm trying not to say straight up, you guys are unaccountable.
Oh, you did.
But I'm tapping into this. Go ahead.
I didn't say anything.
You did. Go ahead.
But what are we not accountable for? Like, we're all living mostly productive lives here. What are we unaccountable for? That's the missing piece of this.
Damn,
I feel. What are we unaccountable
I got
for?
you. I guess I should have just probably. I gotta select the panel next time.
That's totally fine. I don't give a damn. I'm just saying. What are we unaccountable for?
That's fair. Yeah. But I just, Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, if these things are not true, then they're not true. I'm just not seeing very good results from our people. But yeah, I
I guess
mean,
what I'm trying to pinpoint is what is society saying? Because I'm not on all these social medias and all that. What is society saying we're not being accountable for?
like the men are the reason for our relationships and the divorces and all this other shit. The men are the issue for our community being a matriarchy and not a patriarchy. And I'm not saying this stuff is untrue, but it's always a pointed finger. Even in the sign conversation, just 20 minutes ago, like it felt like to me, just listening or being a part of it, even that it's because of what was happening to us, not our conduct. That's a lack of accountability. What can you do? You can always do something different in any situation. But if we keep on trying to say, oh, what does it look like? What is this? I'm tired because of such and such, then there is no accountability because it's on somebody else or something else.
As it relates to the podcast, do you want us to be quiet? Do you want us to not respond? Do you want us to make sure it's in a tone that feels good to certain people? Because other people don't mind. So we can't please everyone, but you want us to respond for content. Everybody can't sit up there like Tay and not say nothing. I don't know, or not really show no emotion. I don't even know what that is. So with that said, I'm just saying, what do you want us to do? But what do men want us to do? We're damned if we do, damned if we don't. That's how. That's how I generally feel.
Like I said, if your outlook is like nothing can change, and you damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's what I'm saying. If you're not open to it, if we can't get better, if that's how you see it, then I'm saying it's pointless to have the conversation.
Hamp, what are some suggestions that men feel that we don't hold ourselves accountable to?
Well, I dropped the link, so I want to get some other brothers in here if possible. So give it a second, Ro. If not, I'll do my best to try to answer. Miss Nay, I know you came off the mic, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no, it's all right. I didn't really have much. I was gonna just say something to back up.
Go ahead. You good?
No,
go ahead.
it's all right. It was nothing. She said it basically. It's all right.
What was it? Just so I understand the point.
I don't even remember now. That's all right. Because I just let it go.
Wow.
Okay.
I let it go. So it's all right.
Can I just say, in terms of answering the question, how we can solve this lack of accountability, I would say healing, for one. I don't think we talk about it enough. And that's something I push as a self-love ambassador. You have to start with yourself. A lot of the accountability or lack of comes from regret or reflection of something that we thought about. Oh no, let me go back. For instance, my parents, I got a lot of apologies as an adult. So I didn't get apologized to as a child. But as an adult, I can talk to my parents and I should have did this, I should have did that. Hey, I'm good. Don't worry about that. So my thing is, you have to leave the nest, right? So at some point, it's not up to them. I can't blame the fact that my daddy wasn't there. I can't blame that on me not being able to look at a man and let him lead, because I have other positive male figures in my life. So what to me, that's what I'm getting out of the stigma. Just heal if you got daddy issues, heal from those. If you don't know how to actively listen or not be affected, have your internal peace affected by external factors, then figure out how to do that for you. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think that's solid. I'd tell you that kind of was something I was thinking of as Ro kind of asked, not that well articulated, but like trauma responses, we justify a lot of shit with trauma. And we always say it's our trauma that caused it. And then we have trauma responses and it's okay because I have PTSD for certain things. Trauma responses are not acceptable.
I did say it earlier, but I also said, but we need to heal. Because I said, I think it's both of us that do that. It's a trauma response that we act that way. But it's the fact that we need to heal. So to your point, say, yes, it's an inner reflection. Get you a life coach, therapy. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, you said that. And I'm just saying we got to stop scapegoating with that, I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Tay said, and you said, Nay, and then you said it before, it take time, some more than others. But you certainly got to deal. But it can't continue to be used as, oh, I'm not accountable for my action. Let me read a couple of super chats real quick. Perfect Wisdom with the $10 super chat. Why are black men whining about black women? Stop being simps. Comments included.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Like, we should stop talking again, black men. Because when you having a conversation and a dialogue, you can't voice your concerns. Hey, Perfect Wisdom, why don't you hit the link on Wednesday? Kevin C with the $5 super chat. DJ HAMP, good point. Men must accept their part in relationships / community failure. Do women accept their part in these failures or only blame men? It's kind of like a question. Let me welcome my man Kevin 3905 to the show. Kev, what up though?
What's up, my guy? What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. You've been watching for a grip, bro. I'm glad to see you hit that link.
Yeah, I think I caught the first episode, man. I really like you guys. Love the panel. Tuesday nights is always great. I know it seems like we be roasting the ladies, but I see a lot of growth in you guys. I really do. I really see you guys really trying to learn. You might not always respond in the best way possible, but who does? To answer a couple of the questions, one of the questions that Lex asked was about how should women respond to men when they're attacking you guys. Always remain feminine. That's the key. Always remain feminine. Men are supposed to always remain masculine. We don't communicate the same. Men communicate in straight lines and women communicate in a circular pattern, and we just need to learn to understand each other. That's it.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, let me
When
just
you said-
make sure.
Absolutely.
Well, Nate, you got it. But I just want to, because he was addressing, because that was Big Lex's question initially.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So go ahead, Lex. Did you want to respond?
Oh no, I was gonna see what Miss Nate was gonna say.
All right, go ahead. Miss Nate, read this for me real quick.
Healing is so subjective.
Thank you, Mike Brown,
I'm
with
sorry,
$2 super chat.
$2 super chat. Yes. Thank you, Mike Brown. Healing is
Come
so
on, Nate.
subjective.
All right, go ahead.
When you said women should be feminine, automatically, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got on the defense a little bit. I think it's because it made me feel like, are you saying that if a woman is vocalizing herself, is she not being feminine? What did you mean by respond in her femininity? What do you mean by that?
There's a way to speak with men in a feminine way, and while you're responding to them without challenging them.
Okay, so if we're asking a question, would that be considered a challenge? Like,
And
how
we
do you want to
respond better to that than we do aggressive and masculine. Because when men speak with men, it's to respond to when they're speaking. Like,
Kev, you breaking up.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
It's how you ask the question.
Yeah, Kev, you breaking up, bro. Can you hear me?
I think he's frozen.
You're frozen. Yeah, he's saying like if you respond to a man in a masculine way, you are certainly going to get a masculine response. And oftentimes when men converse with each other, if we respond in kind like how you guys respond sometimes, it would probably end in a fight of some sort. But women don't have that threat of violence, and we feel like how you guys are talking to us, like you wouldn't dare if you had nuts on you.
But once he said challenge, and I'm like, well, how are we challenging? If we're asking you a question, is that a challenge because we're asking you a question, or is it in our tone and delivery that you don't like that? Like that's what
probably the tone and delivery. If he jumps on, he can clarify. Nate, I was just trying to kind of catch some of what he said.
Yeah.
I hope that made sense. I think I caught it pretty good.
Yeah, that was
Kev, hit the. Sorry, go ahead, love.
Go ahead, tell him.
Yeah, I was just saying, hit the link again. Yeah, Kev, they got that lean on your internet.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You about to say they got a lean on the internet too?
No, I was gonna say, no. What I was asking, I was gonna follow with the question, like.
Hold on, love. Let him get on first. Kev, you back?
Nope. Yeah, I'm back. Don't beat me up yet, love. Don't beat me up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm here. I would never. I'm love. It's still
Uh,
love. I
love,
guess the
love,
question.
love. You're my absolute favorite.
Thank
Shit
you.
like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Oh, I think so. Like besides him. So if you could give definitive and concrete examples, because I know a lot of men, they say very esoteric terms. Be feminine, be graceful in your response. If you could just give us concrete and say, if we're having a discussion and I don't agree with you, what are the words? Because that's just how my mind processes things. I'm sorry, I'm very linear and succinct. That what words do you want us to use when we want to get our point across without you feeling challenged?
Each conversation is different. It is it's all in the delivery. It's the intent in the delivery. And we can hear it. I don't think we get enough credit for it. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say you're in a relationship with a guy. He makes a decision that's counter to what you thought he did or what you expressed to him. And instead of, saying, hey, I don't like what you did, and I think we should have did this way, you might say, well, honey, I might not agree. I might not see the vision but I'm going to support you.
Damn.
Man, that got good.
Damn, Kev, every time you ask for an extension, they slow you down by 20 gigs.
He was talking good too. I want to hear what he
Yeah, he was. I think he was saying the word usage. He's saying like if you don't agree, I think men do well with be like, oh, I see what you're saying. Have you considered X, Y, and Z? What you think about this? I mean, I think I referred to Machiavelli's The Prince one time. If you guys ever read Machiavelli's The Prince, well, read it and then I'll expound.
So I think men get confused. We're on a podcast, and so how I talk to my man is different than I do when I have a man.
I knew he was put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Put him in the fucking bedroom.
I can't let it slide. Nah, I can't let that shit slide. Get her out of here. Nope,
we knew what she meant. That's funny. No, I think Kev made some good points, but I don't like the assumption that we're just automatically coming out the gate, with the what's the acronym?
Guns blazing.
With guns blazing. If we're having a productive, a respectful conversation, we're capable of having a respectful and productive conversation back and forth. I think it's just a matter of when somebody crosses the line, you don't get to decide how I respond to your disrespect. And I think that's the issue there. So because somebody gets out of pocket and then I have a response to it, I'm supposed to totally not consider my feelings, my response, and just ignore how I feel to remain feminine to appease you. And I think that's bullshit, and I don't think that that's productive at all. But as long as both parties are remaining respectful to one another, we're more than capable of having a respectful conversation.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay. Well, let me Kev in the back chat real quick. Hood Mystic, what's good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you?
I'm doing well. How's the panel? Happy to be here.
We're good. Where are you?
Can we see your face?
I'm right. I don't know my camera. I don't know how to work it.
What is this romantic ass lighting you got going on back there?
It's just my vibe, how I get down. I like colors.
Now
let me hold on, y'all. Let me get the man in the damn show first. Hood Mystic, what up? We were speaking in the Gmail too, bro.
Yeah, I had something that happened that day and I couldn't
Yeah,
So,
you ain't tell me just like a nigga, man.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
It's all good. Everything
here
good
now.
from that day? You straight?
Yeah, everything is straight. Had a
All right.
family emergency, but everything's good.
Word. God bless. God bless. So go ahead. You got a question, comment, or smoke for the ladies?
No smoke for the ladies, just in general. Like, I know like women think that it's like a monolith, but when young men try to talk to women in real life, they are very rude, very mean, very, very angry in general. Most men will say this. And I feel like it's a disingenuous argument to have the conversation like women are just general angels when it comes to dialogue and having conversations, when men are respectful. I think it's common sense. We know, like, if a man is disrespectful, it's natural to be disrespectful back. But as a man, we could just have a normal dialogue, and the truth triggers, a lot of conversations. I think, like, if we're not going to acknowledge that, then we're going to just have a disingenuous conversation as a whole.
I agree with him.
I agree with you, Mystic. But let me ask you a question. Well, maybe you didn't say this. I think the general sentiment is, it's the delivery of the message, right? It's the tone and the delivery that men prefer. And so do men take that same thought when they're speaking to women? It's the tone and the delivery. It's not even really being triggered. Forget about triggers and traumas. I'm asking a question. Do you?
I think like speaking direct, women equate that to tone, delivery problems, but it's just being assertive and just being direct, not beating around the bush, telling you exactly what I feel, exactly what I expect. And in general, if a woman can't meet that, you rarely hear a woman say, I don't think that I'm capable to do that. It's generally a response that's going to be like, well, who do you think you are? And, why are you disrespecting me? And all of this type of conversation. But most men are being direct, and you're equating that to being disrespectful from my observation.
Can you give it a real life example? Like if we could get like a sentence maybe.
Women need to be accountable for how they treat men, meaning that if you get a good man, what are the 3 things that you do for a good man right off the top of your head?
That's not disrespectful at all. Like that's just regular conversation. Like I'm not sure how people would find that offensive or disrespectful. It may be the quality of the woman that you're speaking to. Then
no, I mean, Google online the conversation. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Google online, what do you bring to the table? You'll see thousands of videos of women being upset by that question.
Well,
but wouldn't you want your son to ask a woman what she's going to offer him long term?
No, that's not an appropriate question to ask a woman that you just start dating. No.
But that's a direct question that women would get offended by. I'm just answering her question of a clear example of a man being direct and women taking offense. And there are 5-digit amount of videos of women complaining about that one direct question. What do you have to offer me?
So it is all about your tone, and it's going to be about the woman you're speaking to and how you ask that question. When you say, what are you bringing to the table? It can insinuate that she already has nothing to bring. You might be asking it as a direct question, but she may be taking it as if you're saying, you ain't showed me nothing, so what you bringing? It might be direct, but it also has a consequence depending on how you deliver that question. Instead of saying what you bring to the table or what do you have to offer, you might want to say, a man, to be direct, and I'm paraphrasing, a man might say, well, what I like for my women to have, like when HAMP came on, he said, I like my women to have A, B, C, D, F, and G. He was confident in his answer. He knew what he wanted. He didn't ask us. He knew what he wanted. So he can be direct in knowing what he wants and deliver a question without having to be.
Hold on, because I want to get more from Hood Mystic, right? So you just telling them how to deliver.
You're right. I apologize. I guess my thing is because he asked a question. That direct question.
Love asked him a question and he was answering hers, and then you tried to correct them and saying how that question should be asked when he was telling you one of the questions that women deem disrespectful.
I misunderstood. Yeah. I thought he was asking a question, telling us to go online to look and see how women respond to that question.
He was giving an example of, because he was saying it and then doubling down saying there's also a million videos of women being asked this question and getting offended when a man was just being direct.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all I was just answering. I was saying why women get mad at that question.
Yeah, he was just saying all men are doing is saying, what do you have to offer me? And he said that's so because Love asked for an example.
I think women might choose to get offended by that question if they don't really like you, if they're not really feeling you. If the woman is feeling you, I think they'd be receptive to anything you ask them.
Say the last part again. Says my. Hold on 1 second, Hood. I missed that last part. Say it one more time.
I said if the woman is really feeling you, they'll most likely they will be receptive to damn near any question you ask them if they like you. If they don't like you, they're going to choose to be offended by certain questions like that. I don't see that as offensive at all.
Gotcha. Let me let Hood jump in real quick, and I just want to read these couple, Hood, and you can jump in. Gunny with the $20 super chat. Alex, Wednesday show is the quintessential example of femininity. She stands her ground, but no, Alex from Wednesday's show is a quintessential example of femininity. She stands her ground, but never resorts to insults whenever it gets backed into a corner. She doesn't have to struggle in her femininity while debating men. So shout out to Alex using this example. And then I got one more, and then I want to make sure Hood get his time. I think he got some substantive shit to say. We on is it Lock
Nation?
I don't know. He might be a Crip. We on Loke Nation with a $5 super chat. Women should express themselves logically and passionately, feminine or masculine. At the end of the day, we are human beings. And I got one more. Men have always been easily fooled by deceitful femininity. Go ahead, Hood.
No, I just think that, the purpose of these conversations is because men want to have relationships. Black men want to have relationships with Black women. And if we're going to lead, or if we're going to be a voice in your heart and your mind, you would have to actually listen to us and not respond thinking that we're being disrespectful or thinking that our purpose is anything other than connecting with you and getting to know you and trying to get deeper into what is called Black love. But at this point, whenever we mention real things, it's like a argument, and it's like a back and forth, or, talking about how you were raised and all of these particular things, but we never get to how can we come together, right? And accountability, meaning that what our payments, we balance each other out. Our payments received and our payments taken out, we're accountable for that. How much are you spending? What are your spending habits? We can say, well, you spending $300 a week on hair and nails. Why don't we stop doing that and invest it in that, but we can't have these real conversations because when we mention accountability, we don't probably even know what it means at this point. So it's just like, how can we come together? How can we have real conversations as opposed to pointing out all of the bad things that men do when we've been told that? I know that I've been fed that since I was a little boy, that naturally men just aren't anything, or we're dogs and things of that nature. But now that I'm a grown man and I have a wife and I have children, like we got to have these conversations. And the reason why we keep having these conversations is because Black women have refused to listen up until this point. But I feel like it's a testament of men to constantly strive to have these conversations, bringing women on and like inviting these dialogues, because you don't see it in verse, right? You don't see Black women who, like the Kendra G's, bringing Black men up and asking them how they feel. You know what I'm saying? It's just more or less of men have always been a commodity, a sexual object, an ATM. So when we have these kind of conversations, to be feminine is to listen to the man and say, wow, I never heard that before. Oh, you have a soul, you have feelings. Let's work on that, as opposed to just dismissing them, calling him disrespectful. He don't know what he's talking about. He broke. Maybe she didn't love you. It was my family. You know, all of these is just excuses. And what is the point? Black men need Black women. You know what I'm saying? That's really the point. But we're not going to talk about that. I feel like these conversations get swept under the rug.
But Mystic, what do you feel about Black men being accountable and who they choose to be with and who they choose to date?
Black men don't have a chance in real life. Like if I saw a young lady that I was attracted to mentally, emotionally, physically, she's not checking for me because, you know, for whatever reason, I don't meet her aesthetics. I'm just talking about in general. I'm married with 4 children, but I have brothers, cousins, uncles, and in general, if a man really wants to have a relationship with a woman, he's asked out in 2023 because it's a fear-based decision-making process when it comes to listening to a Black man. So, I mean, I just thank God. You know, I really do thank God that I have my wife in my life and my children, because if I felt like I needed to establish a relationship in 2023, I don't know what I would do. Like, I honestly don't know what I would do.
Mystic, how long have you been married?
Oh, sorry.
I've been married for 6 years.
6 years? Go ahead, Nate.
God bless.
I was going to say, it sounds like what I'm gathering from that is that the male and the female both need to be in space of healing before you even getting together. Because the fact that you're saying, how can we get to a place of Black love? Nobody is working on themselves prior to getting into that relationship. So if you're working on yourselves, you're doing your self-reflection, your inner work, then when you come together, then you can kind of have that communicative area and y'all can speak on things. I think that's probably what it is and why you feel like, you know, we're not listening. And then even saying that, like, women don't listen, that can be offensive. You're always telling us that we don't listen. We're women on this panel right now trying to listen to you. And granted, you're married, and I'm pretty sure your wife listens to you and you listen to her. I'm going to gather that. But I think that's what it is. You need to be in a space of healing where you guys are hearing one another out and you're being respectful of one another and not being accusatory and shaming the other one by saying you don't listen and you don't hear me out. Y'all are actually able to sit with one another and talk and be expressive in your emotions with one another. It's just a matter of respect at the end of the day. That's how you can, assume that's how you get to Black love.
But the man said women don't listen. So now what? Are we offended and now we start to talk shit to him? Or do we say, well, tell me more? Do we say, how don't we listen? Did we think about a time where you didn't listen to maybe where you can nod your head as opposed to shake your head?
I think that's what we need to do. Both of us. I think we all need to do that because we may feel like, again, the man is not listening to us as well. We can feel the same exact way as them. But I think it's a matter of us all listening to each other and us asking, okay, so what is it that I'm not doing? And being able to take it, sit with it, and then act on whatever it is that you say that we're not listening in. But that also takes a level of growth. And that's you in a space and being able to heal and not dealing with your traumas and saying, okay, well, because I'm traumatized by that, I don't want to hear what you have to say. You're sitting there, you're actually listening and not listening to just respond to something.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm only speaking in generalities, and in general, women have a Disney fantasy when it comes to relationships and men. So if he's aesthetically pleasing and he has his money together, or whatever qualities you deem passable, you would deal with that man for no reason at all, right? And this is just in general. So there is no incentive for women to listen to a man when he exists to fulfill a fantasy. And the average man, 85% of men go unnoticed, unheard, and unloved. That's the reality. That's the facts. So when we have these types of conversations, let's not act like the men that you deal with represent men, because the men that a majority of women deal with represent a minority of men. So if you can just think about that, you would say without a shadow of a doubt, we don't listen to men, we don't hear men, we don't even see them, because they don't even cross our threshold of aesthetics. They don't even cross our threshold of finances, because we live in an economy, we live in a country that is like unbearable, right? But yet and still, that doesn't stop a woman's ability to fantasize on what her relationship looks like, what her man doesn't look like. And if he don't reach those standards, then we've all been men in a relationship and told by a woman, why don't you do X, Y, and Z? So we've internalized that and we would try to improve ourselves. But I'll ask you this question. Have you ever heard a woman say, I'm satisfied in my relationship, completely satisfied, and I don't want anything more from this man? He is capped out.
Generally, when they're not shallow, because what you just described was a shallow woman, because you made it seem as though women are only looking at a man for just his looks. That's not the case. Not
I'm
every
saying
woman.
in general, like statistics.
Let me clarify though. Let me clarify, because that's not what the man said.
That's how it.
The man said his looks, his pockets, or whatever you deem passable.
That's still shallow.
No. Whatever you deem passable means there's traits that qualify for you that now that man fits into your fantasy. So he didn't. He gave the top two or the top three, especially a man's pockets, and then he also made sure he qualified it by saying, or whatever fits into your so-called fantasy, then you'll so on and so forth with that man. So it's very important, and I mean he said a lot, but it's very important to understand what he said. Go ahead, Nay.
Oh no, I was done what I was saying. It just came up like he was describing a shallow woman, but that's what it just sounded like to me.
So now is it somehow our fault that there's men walking around here not in a relationship when there's, they say there's 10 women to one man? So is it now, so now are men expecting women to do what now? Are we supposed to go hunt now for men? I'm just getting clarity.
Women want the same men. The large majority of men aren't sought after by women. They don't have options. So they're not being chosen by women even when they do approach. What's the stat that I continue to give? You know how many men under 30 are virgins? 30%. Women don't. Yes, ma'am. Men don't have all this access like we try to paint. It's the same men fucking all the women.
So HAMP, how does that change? Because I mean, even if you do have a man that the men that
I'm gonna tell you, get you a 5'6" fat nigga who doing his job. God damn it, that work on the back of the dump truck making $50,000 a year, that will be home at night and up in the morning bright and early. Like y'all want these stallions, and there ain't enough stallions to go around.
Those men.
I'm not. Nah. Y'all done got me started. I'm not done.
I think
these stallions fucking all your friends. Yo, where Isha at? God damn it. I was trying to talk to this girl. Hold on, sis. I'm on it now. God damn it. I'll try to talk to this girl. She said no. I said why? She said because you had sex on my whole floor. I said good God Almighty. Shout out to Walmart, man. Good gracious. Like, yo, that's like,
yeah.
And that was a lot of, you know what I mean? So you just selecting the same cats. And there was plenty cats not getting no buns, no cheeks, no nothing. But they get walked right by. Right, Hood Mystic? See? You can see him nodding. He all in the camera. You can still see him nodding.
Were those men, those dudes, did they approach women? Were they approaching women like you was approaching them all on the same floor?
See? But see now, what did Hood Mystic lead off his soliloquy with? Accountability.
I mean, I'm asking because if a woman may not immediately feel like she's going to go up to a 5'6" man.
Bro, can you see my finger? If your lip was right here, my finger would be all on your nose and everything. All right. But see, here's the thing. You guys have so much access. You guys control so much of that. But if men are getting rejected all day long, like, it's just hard. So you go to your room, and then this is what, when we was in college, I graduated 2009. So the internet was popping. You go to X videos, get your rocks off. Fuck it. Then go to football practice. like
what I don't understand though is how is it just feels like the overall tone, and I'm not talking about Mystic in particular, but it just feels like the overall tone of these conversations as a collective is it's always our fault one way or another. It's either we got too much mouth, we got too much attitude, and so the men don't want to deal with us, so that's why we're single. Or we're too old, we're too fat, we're too ugly, that's why we're single. Our eggs are dried up, that's why we're single. And now it's we're not choosing the men who aren't as visible or who don't fit into this fantasy, assuming that we all have some kind of fantasy, which I'll put a pin in that because that's a totally different conversation. It always comes back to us. And the overarching point of the conversation is women don't take accountability for anything. I'm bugging here. I'm totally lost. It's just, at what point do we have a meeting of the minds and stop pointing the finger? Like, it can't always be our fault in every single direction. We're not responsible for everything that goes wrong with relationships in the Black community.
Yeah, you're not, and we can go down that path, but we're having a specific conversation. So he just letting you know that I think we assume men are having all this sex and got all this access when the majority of men don't. That's all we saying. We're not saying fault or not. We're just saying that a lot of cats ain't getting no cheeks.
A lot of women ain't either. A lot of women ain't either.
But
oh my God.
I
mean, y'all, so here's what happens, right? Our panel usually does better. But if we keep doing shut up, no, you shut up, we ain't gonna get nowhere. You know? Dana, read this for me.
Sure. Shout out to We Unlock Nation again with the $5 super chat. Why must we have the same overcooked conversations? Where are your results?
Who are you talking to?
I think he's talking to us as a community.
I'm not even talking to me. I'm making sure he ain't talking to me. That's all.
No, I think he's talking about men and women in general. Having the same, it's like I said before, it's the gender wars. It's the same monotonous, unproductive conversation that just goes on. It's a broken record.
Oh, I'm not gonna let y'all paint that. Hold on, let me unshare this real quick. I'm not gonna let y'all paint that narrative at all.
Wait, what?
Nope.
What narrative?
That it's the same old broken record shit. No, it's not. Now, what happens is
what you said, the same back and forth.
No, I'm saying this conversation ain't that. I'm saying that we're actually trying to get somewhere with it. And so these questions that we asked today and you guys answered, whether we can answer better or not, are kind of different. And so, with trying to dispel some of the stuff, and Hood Mystic came from a genuine place, right? And we just want you guys to generally understand men ain't fucking like that. All right. Guess who's still on the top 10 list for women? Morris Chestnut, and this nigga's 90. It's the same niggas.
And Lorenz Tate.
All right,
it's
hey,
mid-50s,
Nathan.
but yeah.
Yeah. 50, 90, same thing. Perfect Wisdom with the $2 super chat. Only black men hate their own women.
Whoa, wrong. But
I don't know about that.
No. We like black women. Come on.
Yeah, we love black women. Mike Brown with the $2 super chat. Standards are too high.
Yeah, all right.
Is it bad to ask that you have hygiene and clean clothes on a first date? What's the problem?
That nigga fucked your mojo up. Bro. You've been talking about him for 4 years.
Problem? Why can't
I hate that nigga.
I asked for that?
I hope whoever his
hate
name
that
is. Yeah, I hate that nigga. I hope he got strep throat.
I think it's not too high.
Damn.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with having standards. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr.
There's
Kevin.
nothing wrong with having standards. Hey, hello. First of all, to you, DJ HAMP is the host, and all to the ladies. How you guys doing? Pretty good conversation tonight. Dana said something that I agree with, and I think it was Mrs. I want to say Love. That I went back and listened to what you said earlier. I can understand why women, get frustrated, feel like they're not being listened to. I'll say this as men, we generally listen more and pay attention more to women that we're in tune with and women we truly, definitely care about. Not to say that we don't care about you guys, but we do. When we're on a panel, obviously the whole point is for conversation, so I am listening. I will say that sometimes I say things and then it seems as if you guys take it personally when really I'm just talking to you and through you, but not at you and not really directing it towards you. You guys are essentially avatars. And the only reason I say that is because when I've come up a few times, it seems like some of the stuff I'm saying, it feels like an attack. It comes as if I'm attacking you guys personally, and I'm not. I'm just saying stuff that's what it is. When we talked about why men want younger women versus older women, then it seemed like there was one or two that took it as an attack. When I said that hot girl summers didn't really help women out, some people kind of took that personally. So, because I went back and looked at some of the videos that HAMP had been putting up, I was like, oh, doggone it. It just seemed that's kind of how it came off. And I'm like, no, that's everything I say is pretty much now if I'm wrong, then I'm open to, correction or at least listening to what it is you guys say about it. But generally when I say stuff like that, I'm consistent with how men are talking in the locker rooms, how they're talking on the basketball court, how we're talking when we all get together as men. That's the stuff that we're saying. And men will generally agree. There's always one guy that goes, no. I'm like, and then there's 5 other guys shooting them down going, nope, this is what it is, man. We want the younger women.
Yeah.
When women get old, it's stuff like that. Like this.
Yeah, I think they understand
this is how
that.
guys are talking. And it just seems as if, and then there's other things too.
Mr. Kevin, now you said and then that means we got another 13 minutes of you talking.
Sorry,
Hold on, let me read a couple super chats real quick. Mike Brown, because I wanted to make sure I'm doing a good job of showing the super chat, so I apologize if some of them are redundant, but I don't feel like I said the names, and I want to show everybody the love and respect that they showing us by sharing the super chats. Mike Brown with the $2 super chat. Healing is so subjective. I got that one for sure. Mike Brown with the $2 super chat. Shout out to Love. Big piece of chicken is a must first. Real shit.
Shit like that.
You don't even eat that much, nigga. Gunny J. Wells with the $20 super chat. Alice on Wednesday show is a quintessential example of femininity. She stands her ground but never resorts to insults whenever get backed into a corner. She doesn't have to struggle in her femininity while debating men. No, Miss Nate, you can't read that fast. We on Lock Nation. $5 super chat. Women should express themselves logically and passionately, feminine or masculine. At the end of the day, we are all human beings. Bruh. Perfect wisdom. Oh, look at Love, please. She ain't got no white friends. Love, perfect wisdom with the $20 super chat. Men have always been easily fooled by deceitful femininity. Thank you, my friend, with the $20 super chat. You showed a lot of love tonight. We appreciate you. We glad you ain't leave when you said you was an hour ago. Mr. Britt with the $2 super chat. Big Kev, what is that? The Honduras flag?
Wow.
That looks like El Salvador, I believe.
Okay. He got confused.
Honduras,
he think it's all the same. He think it's all the same.
No, that looks like El Salvador.
Mike Brown with the $5 super chat. Heal what? We are at the bottom of the bottom. Other cultures are getting together. Are they so healed in some capacity? Perfect Wisdom with the $5 super chat. At Jason, go ahead, use your passport and end up broke and sitting back with your tail wagging like many of you have. Damn.
Shit like that.
That's
shit
what
like
Sis
that.
said earlier. Sis be sending me mad videos with no context. It just be somebody on the front. I'm like, man, I ain't clicking this shit. What Sis be watching? Perfect Wisdom with the $10 super chat. Okay, enough, Mystic.
Wow.
I thought Mystic was doing good, man. Well, you on Lock Nation, $5 super chat. Why must we have the same overcooked? Oh,
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
yeah. Perfect Wisdom with the $2 super chat. Only black men hate their.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
We love our women, man. Mike Brown, standards are too high. Okay, I'm getting down there. Mr. Britt with the $5 super chat. I got 2 close friends, both with masters and great careers with no kids and been single for years. Ain't getting no buns regularly either. That's sad.
Bruh.
Man, oh man, that's making a point. And they got good careers, master's degrees, no cheeks. Good God Almighty.
Why? Maybe they don't like
Maybe it's something else. They got trauma.
Decorum, please. Linux, the hobbyist with the $2 super chat. Love black women, just hate the bad, contentious attitudes. Yeah, that's real shit.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
All right, what did y'all want to jump on?
So I was
said their standards too high. What about the guys that have that aren't getting any cheeks or whatever? That one super chat is you just read.
The masters and
that's
no kids.
That's a catch. That's a great catch.
But they may not be the 666 though. They may not be the 666. That's
what else
all.
Is wrong? There might be something else wrong.
Yeah, we don't know what they look
like. It could just not be attractive enough at the end of the day.
That may not always matter
what
either.
drives the
they might
sexual marketplace.
It might be a jerk. Can I talk now? Can I talk? I've been sitting there quiet for 15, 20 minutes.
I mean, that's the first time you've been quiet in 15 minutes ever on the show.
Big ups to me. My first
so
time.
God forbid Big Lex talk.
She can talk. Now, I'm going to address that one in the chat. So are those 2 men, are their standards too high? As Mike Brown said, women's standards are too high. That's why we're not getting these men. So does that also juxtapose to the men as well? Is it their standards are too high? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So what are their qualifications? What are their standards that they're looking for? Because that's a good catch. No kids, good jobs, a career in the masters, that's a good catch, right? And so obviously, people just throw these terms out and throw all these qualifications out, but really what's behind it?
So he's 5 foot. Mr. Britt just hit me. One of them is 5'6", 250 pounds. And he's balding, but he's only 31 years old.
Okay.
As long as the woman is shorter than him.
Right.
No, I was playing.
I mean, a lot of women don't care about height though. That's not a deal breaker.
Women care about height.
I know.
A lot of women don't.
Oh my God. Women care about height.
At least taller than
but how can you sit there and tell, we're women? I'm a woman last time I checked. And how can you tell a woman what
you serious now?
I'm just saying.
Jason in with the $5. Jason in with the $5 super chat. Most educated but play dumb all the time. Passport up and away.
Bruh. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
So, love, don't do that. Women care about height.
HAMP. We've said it, I think, on a previous podcast. Not all women care about.
Majority of women care about height.
Okay, but not all, right?
The majority of women care about height, though.
Majority is like 70%, 60%.
So women can care about height, but once they found their person, they don't care about height. There are a lot of
you got to get through that to begin with, though.
Excuse me. Where's the decorum? There are plenty of women who had their height qualifications being 6 foot, whatever. But when they met their person, they might have been 5'10", 5'9", and they still loved them and married them and had a great life with them because they found their person. We can say what we want all day long, but we actually, in reality and practicality, we know our person. Like let's not act like we live in a vacuum. You have seen short men with women.
We're not saying that. We're saying that the majority of women care about height. I mean, it's just a no. I mean, everybody knows that.
But can you address or acknowledge the fact that I'm saying, yes, they may, but they still will end up with the guy that's not at their preferred height specifications, what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. That does happen. I agree with you on that. I've seen it.
No, I'm not. I can't allow. Oh, Mr. Kev, there's one thing we don't do up here is this sum bullshit.
Okay, all right.
So yes, there's a sum for you can answer every single question what some people do.
Yeah.
Right? But then you can't really have a real conversation. So we know and women know that the majority of women care about height. Why do I have to address it's not really an argument?
Listen, I don't know why you're missing my point. Yes, we can care about height, but who we end up with may not have been the height specifics that we said we wanted, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a sum argument, though. That's what he just said. That's the sum argument. That's what he just said. He's right.
It is not a sum argument. So he's trying to tell me only tall men are married? That's not true.
No, but he's literally right. What you're saying is correct. So I think it's love, right? Look, we're not dismissing what it is you're saying, but we do have to acknowledge that the majority of women actually have concerns about height. So the guy is not the guy who's 5'6" is not really getting that chance from the beginning. He's not getting that chance from the rip.
Yeah, he'll get disqualified.
Even with his master's degree and his great job and his great personality, none of that matters if he's 5'6". Matter of fact, I want to say this. Matter of fact, I want to say the study actually, and I hate to mention the study because I can't remember the short title or the actual year, but basically the start point for shorter men is $175,000. That's your start point. That's your buy-in right there. You got to be you got to be making at least $175,000 to make up for that height difference or more. Like, and I'm not joking. I've heard that multiple times.
Jesus Christ!
Are y'all saying that men 5'6" and lower never have an opportunity to meet their person?
No, we're saying that in the first 7 seconds, women make snap judgments on whether or not they're going to have sex with a man. So this is psychology. So a shorter man is going to have a harder time dating, having a serious relationship.
Yeah,
that's just the fact. So it doesn't matter. And a woman wouldn't even know if a man's going to even make $175,000 because in the first 7 seconds she has ruled him out completely. So it's not just what we're saying. You could once again Google psychology. First 7 seconds, people make decisions based on that.
I agree with that, but what I'm trying to say is y'all are saying that these two men who Mr. Britt, can I read his comment because he responded?
Yeah.
Mr. Britt, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. He says, nah, they aren't bad looking or bad people. If anything, I was the trash guy out of the group.
Oh, I got something to say to that.
Shit like that.
Well, that makes sense.
But that could be why his friends can't get anybody because
they're not trash. No, because girls like bad guys.
Exactly.
Jay-Z told you that.
Exactly. So it has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with his friend's height. He was like HAMP. He was running through the halls of the dorms, beating up all the women. Take it away from all the men,
bro.
Put him in the fucking.
You was taking from all the women, from all the men.
Whoa! You muted out. What did you say?
I said
taking all the women from the men.
Stop, Nay. Go,
there was no opportunity for any other man because you was that guy.
Oh, all right, say that then. You muted out. It said something about men and pause and all that.
No.
I heard what he said.
Mystic heard it. All right. Yeah. Hey, listen. But the bad guy, the tall guy, the guy who's popular, the guy who's provocative, that's who's getting the cheese. Nice guys finished last didn't come out of nowhere. Short guys definitely finished last. That's not by accident.
Hamp,
come on, man.
I'm not trying to be funny, Hamp. I'm really not trying to be funny, but you're short, right?
You are. Well, I'm 5'8" though, so I'm not even like.
You're short. You're considered short and you're stocky. So you look shorter than what you are. So you ran around busting girls down in college. So that totally dismisses your
I'm a terrible example. You can't use me. I'm an outlier.
Every now and then you get a short king with a personality that can get it.
Like
done.
I really do. Me too, Dana. It's like you're an outlier now. You're just so unique.
He literally is an outlier. Every now and then you get a short king who can get it done.
Yeah, I can talk. I can talk. I play football. I'm in Q. I DJ. I can talk, and I look like my mom. And I got straight teeth with no braces. You shitting me? Like, come on, man. And I used to be in shape.
And you're humble.
Damn, man. Go ahead, Kev. Let me just read this real quick. Mike Brown with a $5 super chat. As HAMP has stated, 54% of men have no kids and make decent money. Real shit. Real shit. Let me get a couple more real quick. And I want to make sure I Mystic hit us with a gem too. If y'all was listening. 666 equal. Oh, no Cupcake Zone podcast with a $2 super chat. Appreciate you. 666 equals 90% of women. FFF equals 90% of men. Simple math. Does somebody know what this means?
What are we talking about? What does this mean?
The 6 feet, six figures, six something, and then feminine and friendly. That's what generally the men want, right?
Oh,
Something
okay,
like that.
okay.
That's a Kevin Samuels reference.
Okay, yeah. So 90% of women want 6 figures, okay, and then 99% of men want fit, feminine, and what's it called?
Friendly, fit, feminine, and friendly.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah, maybe fertile. Will with the $5 super chat. Hey, Will, chill out, Will. Hold him accountable, bro. LOL. Hampton Watson Jr. with the $20 super chat. Women were put here to support men. Men have to lead, and women should follow without question. If there's any smoke, let them handle it. Women simply fall back.
Shit like that.
The baby said that.
The Black Filipino TV with the, I think it's like $10. As Shannon Evans said, short men eat good cootie pop.
Bruh. Shit like that.
Word. All right, I've been interrupting a lot with the super chat. So, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Let me go around the room real quick. Do shorter men have less options, Mr. Kev? Yes or no?
Yes, they do. They have fewer options. Yes.
Hood Mystic.
Yes.
Miss Nay.
Yes.
Ro.
No.
Big Lex.
Yes.
Tay. Dana.
Yep.
Sis. What the fuck is going on? Love, what say you?
No, I live in DC, the land of the short man. All these niggas walking around the DMV that are shorts, and they have girlfriends, wives, mistresses.
Yes,
they have all of the above. This is the land of short man, and they out here getting it. So my answer is no.
DC is a small pool, but we know the vibes, right? And so even if we use the panel as an anecdotal example, the point is disproven, Love. Shorter men have less options. It just is what it is.
The exception actually proves the rule. I did want to address something that Dana said.
Go ahead.
It's Dana, right? She actually said something that now this is why I do agree. So if something's wrong with the man, you can't put that on the women. All right. But this is the flip side of that. If something's wrong with the women, you can't put that on men either. So both sides are going to have to improve to get what it is they're looking for and what they want. There's not, so that which kind of goes to your preference. So whatever that man is looking for, then he's got to essentially be good enough to get the woman that he's looking for. So if you got to make improvements, then that's what you got to do. And most men actually learn that very early. We actually had that conversation one of the times I was up here. We learned very early that in order to get the women that we want, we have to improve. We've been learning that lesson since we were like, 15, 16. So by the time you're 22, 25, if you ain't got it done by 30, then you're really not doing something right as a man. So that's where I would look at the man. But then I would also look on the women's side and go, so if you're not getting the men that you want, then that applies to you too. Which that's why when I threw up that super chat, let me pull it up because I think I kind of saved it here. I said something about, men must accept their part, and whether in a relationship failure or the community's failure, but do women accept their part as well? Like, is that happening?
I agree with you 100%, Kev, but HAMP don't like when we say shit go both ways. So
okay, sometimes it does.
You're absolutely
there are times
right.
when it does.
You're absolutely right. It's not one-sided.
Get him out of here, man. I'm not doing that damn back and forth bull. No, I think the super chat. Yeah, Dana, I think it's not wrong, right? But in terms of like the conversations, it's better when it's pointed. Like when we get the men on, let's eat their ass up. Pause.
I'm teasing.
But now let me ask you guys this though. Mm-hmm. When I say something that you might disagree with, and I have done that, then again, it just looks like, and I want to emphasize this, it looks like, and I'm not speaking to you guys generally or specifically to you, I'm using you guys as an avatar to talk to the audience. And it kind of, look, there's been times when somehow the conversation, you guys haven't done tonight, which is good, by the way, but it'll kind of revert back to me like, okay, where's this guy from? What's he doing? What about your wife again? I'm like, they're not even part of the conversation. But you guys haven't done that, today, so appreciate that. But that's something I just noticed with women, and then women will literally dismiss, like good information that men are giving you, and that's fine to disagree with it, but it just makes sense to listen to it, especially when that's general agreement from men. If we say younger women are better, if we say, older women have trouble, taking rejection, if we say, whatever it is we're saying, there's some validity to it. And then it just makes sense to have some consideration. So we should be listening to what it is you guys are saying also. That's why when you said, we're not gonna put it just solely on the women, because that guy's got to improve to get the type of woman that he wants.
Yeah.
If I say something that's agreeable to the women, then you guys like it. I literally defended. Well, I'm not gonna say defended you, but I mostly agreed with. I actually disagreed with Barnabas when he was saying, you guys give those men that you normally don't give a chance. No, don't give those guys a chance. If you're gonna give them a chance normally, then don't give them a chance. Leave those guys alone. Let other women get out.
Now,
make that guy improve to get the women that he wants.
Yeah, facts. Love, your body language is shit. I'm gonna let you know that now.
I'm sorry. I've been up since 4:00 this morning.
Me too.
So for you to sit there and now you're gonna have the narrative because I don't like what he's saying. That's not true. I really am.
No. We were talking about communication earlier when Ro mentioned that degree that ain't worth shit that she got. I just wanted to point it out that communication is key.
I have a master's in organizational management, specialized in public administration. It's not just communications. I also have a minor in sociology. Okay.
Look at that finger going. Jesus Louise.
Okay. And so what I always say to people, if you have a question about what I'm thinking or whatnot, then just ask. Like, come on. Like, I literally am sleepy. I am. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I work all day.
Don't dignify that shit, man.
I'm just saying, like, come on, yo. Like, and then you sit there and I know the comment section is probably eating me up because they let eat me up anyway. But wow, they do. Like, they find something and they harp on it, but it's not true. Like, I am sleepy, so love.
Hey, golly, man.
So it's 11:30 after 11:30 at night.
This is a joke. Good gracious.
But you know how to eat me up in the comments, Sam. Cut it out, and you sitting there going along with the narrative.
Wow.
Just ignore the comments. I mean, the chat is the chat. I mean, the real discussion is on the panel,
sir.
The chat. They do what they do. But the discussion is on the...
Yeah, go ahead, Dana.
Kevin, I think that you made a good point. But I don't understand truly, honestly. And HAMP has said this before. Other men have said this before. I just don't understand why you all feel that because we disagree with what you say and we have a response to it, and sometimes it might be a passionate response. It doesn't mean it's aggressive or anything. Like it doesn't mean that we don't hear you. It doesn't mean that we're being volatile or any of those things. Like I don't understand why we can't just disagree with the things that you say and have a passionate conversation without you thinking that we're like attacking you or taking offense or being sensitive or any of these things that you guys say about us constantly. And with regard to the comment that you made about us turning the things on you, we were asking questions, qualifying questions about your relationship, because the things that you were saying on that particular day, in my mind, were contradictory to the life that you were living.
How do you mean?
You're trying to constantly give us, and that's the other thing. I come on here and think that we don't know shit about anything. Everybody has so much advice to offer us. Like we don't know anything. We're not free thinkers. We're not capable of using our minds. And you have so much wisdom and knowledge to, instill in us. And it's like, we didn't ask you for that. And we don't need that from you. And we don't need you to, it comes off as very condescending. So a lot of the times that's the response that you get, is offense to the condescending tone, attitude, and demeanor toward us when having a conversation, because it's not to encourage dialogue, it's to school us.
Good point. But I'll just say this. First time I come up and you guys ask the questions, at that point, I was done. You notice I didn't ask any question to you guys. I don't have any for you. I just talked the talking points. I don't need to know your personal life, what you got going on, or unless it comes up somehow in the discussion. But I don't really care whether you're married or not, or what you got going on, or who you're dating. I'm speaking to the talking points. You notice I don't have to do that. I just do it.
But you
I understand that first time when I came up, you guys had personal questions for me. That made sense. After that, we're done with it.
But you also volunteer information about yourself and your relationship. So we have that information going into the conversation for context. So when you say things that are contradictory to the life that you're living, we have follow-up questions.
Okay. Do you have an example?
I don't remember what it was. And sis is gone. I don't remember what it was exactly, but something having to do with age, or I don't love.
Okay. Was that the younger men, older women? A younger women, older women thing?
It was probably within that.
Yeah. But I'm right though. But men generally want younger women. We're right.
Oh, that's what it was. You said that men generally. Right. You said that men generally want younger women, and she made the point that your first wife was about the same age or a little bit younger than you. That's what it was.
That's because we got married around the same age. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't to attack you. It was to qualify what you were saying. It was contrary to the life that you have lived, is what the point that she was making.
That's not contrary. We were the same age. We got married young, same age. So I can't go any younger than 18. So,
okay.
We're early 20s.
Well, I can give another example.
When I got remarried, my wife is younger.
It was kind of condescending. It talked about I was on the tip of my tongue. I'm so sleepy. I'm sorry. So it wasn't about younger, older, coachable. The coachable conversation.
The culture what?
The coachable conversation. And when you divorced your first wife, you came up here. I don't even know why you spouted this. That's why we were kind of confused.
Oh, okay.
Men divorce women because of addiction, and I forgot the second thing you said. We were like,
addiction, and if they go to jail. For extreme use. My whole point was generally extreme reasons. Yeah.
Okay, so we asked a follow-up question: did your ex-wife, first wife, have an addiction, or did she go to jail? You said no. So we were like, well, what was the point of you bringing that up? And you divorced her, so was she not coachable? No, that's not it either. So we're like, so why don't you divorce her then?
Okay, you're right. I should have qualified that.
And so it sounds a little bit ridiculous because it didn't match. And so
that wasn't us attacking.
We were good at first. I'll just say that. We were good at because I'm not trying to, I'd say this all the time. I'm not trying to badmouth it, but if a man marries you, he's made a decision that you are what it is he's looking for, whether that's coachable, whether that's what the wife and mother that he's looking for, whatever that is. Things can change over time, which it does. We know that does happen. It doesn't happen, but that's why I wanted to give those extreme reasons, because men will generally be like, okay, tell me what's wrong so I can fix it. All right. And if it doesn't get fixed, then we're not going to stay with you. So, and you guys said that, and you guys said, okay, well, she's not coachable. Okay, then if that's your conclusion, that's fine. I don't have any issue with that, and I agreed to it. Right?
But do you
Isn't that what I
understand how
said?
that wasn't? Sorry, but do you understand how that wasn't us attacking you though?
No. I get that, and then you gave your analysis, and I said, okay, yeah, you're fine. I'm fine with that. If that's what you guys came to as far as your conclusion, I'm fine with that. I didn't necessarily see it that way, but I can see how you can see it that way. Different perspective. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Mr. Britt with the Mr. Britt with the $5 super chat for the for the panel. Would you date a younger Kevin? Miss Nay?
No, I'm sorry, Kevin. You nice and everything, but you so long-winded, and I couldn't do it.
I've heard women tell me that. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know a lot. I talk a lot, so
Hold on. That's only one. That's only one. One example, Mr. Kev. You don't got to defend that. The hell with Nay. Tay.
I'm good. No, thank you.
All right, y'all, Mr. Kev, they bullshitting, man. They hating.
No, that's fine. I understand. But now, understand something. When I was younger, when I had the six pack and I, had the square jaw and all the other stuff, I was married though. Now, when I did get divorced, I did the stuff that I did because I was with one woman for a long time. Shit like that.
So
I was getting stuff in, but I did have rules to it. For example, if a woman was like 25 and below, I didn't really mess with her because I'm like, well, she should need to be looking for a husband. I don't want to really mess that up. Because I wasn't really looking to get married. So like, if I wasn't going to get married, I'm not going to just play around with a woman. But if a woman has already been married and divorced and we can just kind of doing our thing, we see where it went, then we both kind of had some playtime there. So I kind of had rules with it. Now, other guys, they just do what they do. I try to put rules on it. And then of course I only dated women with kids because I had kids. I thought that was only fair.
You was righteous as hell.
Playtime. So when you were doing playtime, because you opened the door up, child, and it's late and it's after dark. So when you was doing playtime, like how many playtimes did you engage in? Because a couple of episodes ago, we were talking about hot girl summers and whoremongers and whatnot. Were you one of the whoremongers? Were you creating whores?
Negative. Nope, absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. Because again, I told you I just put rules to it. 18 to 25, that's when women need to be. As far as I'm concerned, you should be like looking for that husband. Now, if you already been married and you're divorced now and you already got the kids, and I wasn't dealing with women who didn't have kids. That was my, again, this is Kevin. I'm putting my personal rules on it. That's why I was like, I'm not going to mess those women up by just wasting their time when they really could be looking for husbands. I'm not going to be that guy because I just got out of a marriage. So I didn't want to do that to anybody. And I wasn't going to lie to them about it. And oh, by the way, I didn't lie to women. I said stuff like, you're not the only one I'm dating. Or, I'm doing this. We'll see what this is about. Neither one of us was really, what you call it, getting super serious, but it could have went that way. Before I met the woman I married, I thought that the woman I was dating before her, she's gonna be my wife.
Now y'all see my body language.
So yeah.
Yes.
No, that's a good question. I'm answering her question. So
listen. Mr. Kev was out there doing it. He wasn't fucking. He was still doing it. He dry humping, kissing, mouth closed. Ew, too much spit. Nah, come on. Mr. Kev wasn't putting in no pain. Oh man. Hey, Mr. Kev, read this for me.
So, No Cupcake Zone Podcast with the $1.99 super chat. They are slaves to their emotions. Feels over real. Okay. Yeah, and that is kind of a complaint with women sometimes.
Yeah. Jason N with the $10 super chat. Here's $1 for every time Dana says she can't understand. Again, most educated but play dumb all the time. Man. He been saying that in the chat for like the past 20 minutes. Perfect Wisdom with the $5 super chat. He
is nasty. Perfect Wisdom is
Perfect Wisdom. Perfect Wisdom with the $5 super chat. Will y'all date a hood mystic? Why'd you say a hood mystic? Like he's a species.
Wow.
Yo, I like how hood mystic get a game though. I like how you get the information up. So what's it? Big Lex, come on, man. What say you, Big Lex? Would you date a hood mystic?
Not for me, but clearly he found his person, so I love that. But not for me.
What say you, Ro?
I think him and his wife have found each other. He has a catch. He's a catch. Remember that. You're a catch. Just not for me.
I don't even know what that means, man. Jason N with the $2 super chat. What's big on Big Lex?
Bruh. Shit like that. Put him like that. Put him like that.
What's big on Big Lex? Big Lex?
Yeah, say that again.
You heard what I said. What's big on Big Lex?
I actually don't understand the question. What does that mean?
Her smile is big on her.
Her personality.
Her brain is big.
Thank
Big
you,
Lex,
Louise. What's big? My
Yo.
It's actually funny.
You guys kick me every time. Dog, okay, that's fine. You know,
It always will. It's always will.
I might come back. All right, I'm gonna hit Will up in the chat to see what it is I'm saying. I guess I don't know if I know too much.
He says you're talking too much.
Right, well, you guys ask questions. I just answer the questions.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Damn, Mr. Kev. Will with the $20 super chat. Hey, Kevin, I can't take it, bro. Enough is enough. Get some rest.
Wow.
Yo, that ain't right, man. Will always kicking Mr. Kev off, man. Man, Will was coming at me earlier too. I don't know. I am not read. Nay, read this for me.
Nika D with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Degree is giving the emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence seems like it's more because that means greater than.
Emotional intelligence over a degree.
Yeah.
Feel that? I can feel that. Actually, I can feel that.
Yeah, that
I
makes
support
sense.
that too.
Damn, man. Interesting.
Anybody can get it.
That's a fact. Yo, so Mystic, anything else you wanted to leave with the ladies? Did you get clarity when you came up here? What do you think?
Zero clarity, but I would just also like to say, it's always when we make a point, well, what about the women or what about the men? But men and women are biologically different, so we can't always conflate the two. And when we come to depression, men and women are depressed for two different reasons. So if we're not going to actually look at women and look at men as two different biological species and always compare and contrast each other, we won't get clarity and we'll always be back at square one. So I seen that every time something was actually substantiated, it was, well, what about the men? What about the women? But that becomes disingenuous and a testament to not really listening to listen, but listening to respond. And it's very difficult to have conversations like that.
Amen to that.
Damn, that was good. Mr. Kevin C.
Shit like that.
With a 20 ball and the super sticker.
Welcome back.
Will, he said you can't kick him, Will.
So I paid to come back, but so if you guys have questions for me, then I'll answer the questions, and I will voluntarily leave, Mr. Will, of my own volition. So you don't have to pay again to kick me off.
And he gave us real $20 in US dollars.
Like that.
I told y'all I go back and forth out of the States, in and out of the States all the time. I told y'all that. My wife's right here.
Tell her we said hi.
Tell her you say, hey, baby.
He'll say hi to the people. Hey, Mrs. Kevin C. What up, though? Hope all is well. You heard? Hey, Hood Mystic just dropped the gym, though. I know that. And that's basically what we be getting at. Hello. What's up?
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah. They're saying, how are you, baby? How are you? ¿Cómo estás?
I'm fine.
You way prettier than Mr. Kevin.
Hey, well, she's supposed to be. She's my wife. Women are supposed to be prettier than me.
Indeed.
Yeah, she's really pretty. She's a lovely lady.
All right,
But
Kev,
yes.
get her out of here. Now the guys talking about she pretty, Ola, and all that. All right, bye, Mrs. Kevin C. Bye.
Okay, bye. Nice to see you.
Look, Barnabas say you showing off. Yo,
she's a lovely lady. She really is. But
guys,
you guys have any more
guys
questions
actually
for me?
being respectful though.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull on off unless you guys don't have any other questions for me though.
No, I was just harping on what Hood Mystic had just said. You know, I think that was really valuable for sure. Yeah. If we continue to say, well, what about this? What about that? Do we ever even continue to finish? Do we ever finish the conversation?
I do have a question for Hood though. So, is it your assessment that men and women should work on themselves? Because I don't see where we can really do it together and try to come together. But you got to work on yourself, get yourself fixed, and then come to the opposite gender ready to go. Versus,
I think that would always get you in some form of like a false belief because everybody is different. So I would want my wife to grow with me, learn with me, understand with me. That's why it's custom to really get, like we said earlier, I don't want to like ruffle no feathers, but a younger woman, because in general, you just want somebody that is in tune with you energetically. When you're dealing with older women in the States, they've had boyfriends, hot girl summers, one night stands. So when it comes to a point of like really having a real relationship, it ain't no preparing. She already prepared for you with all of the dudes. So it's just kind of, everything else that she's going to say is going to be
kicked off mid-question, Hood Mystic.
Huh? Oh,
he got kicked off mid-question. He was trying to answer his question. Okay. Yo, Will with the $20 super. Will with the $20. I can go all night, bro. Take a break. Damn.
And Will does go all night.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay.
Child, you are so we virtuous over here.
Bruh. Mr. Britt with the $2 super chat. Big Kev with the light flex. I see you. Mike Brown with the $5 super chat. Kev with the flex. That's what's up, man. They said Will came for blood. Yeah, but that was an interesting answer though, Mystic. So I kind of said that before. Like, men, build yourself up, control what you can control. Whether it be education, your weight, your money, like, do the things that you can do. I think men should approach the world as if we ugly. I feel like ugly niggas work harder.
I agree.
Shit like that.
You gotta do a lot, because at the end of the day, women have vaginas, so it puts them on a pedestal. Men, we got our character, we got our finances, we got all of the things that make us a man. The problem is women then try to do what we do to build ourselves up, to say, well, I got these degrees, I got this money, I got this. But if I'm working to get something, what are you actually working for that's going to benefit the relationship outside of what I'm already working for, my qualities? So, and women, they already have the value, right? They born with the value. We got to actually get it. So if it's what about the men, what about the women, we always comparing, it's basically like I'm just getting another man, but she just looked like a woman at the end of the day, her mentality.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Ladies, go ahead, Dana.
I think it's interesting because this isn't just you, Mystic, but men bring this up a lot about how women have these degrees and these great jobs and make all this money, and that's not what you all are looking for, and that doesn't, it's not attractive to you because you don't need it. But I just don't understand why you think it's for you. Like we go out and get degrees and we get jobs because we gotta eat, because we don't like being broke, because we are single. So it's not a matter of, we're accumulating these accolades and these achievements because we want to look presentable to you. Like, what you think we doing in the meantime until we do get into a relationship, or we just supposed to be sitting around waiting for y'all hungry and in rags and shit? Like, no, we trying to go on trips and whatnot.
I understand. And it's not to say like a person should be homeless or a person shouldn't go to college or anything like that. But at the same time, what does it mean to really bring that feminine energy to the relationship? Like, that's why I mentioned depression, because the reason why a woman would be depressed is different from the reasons why a man would be depressed. Basically, the energy and vibration of just kind of like tapping into your feminine qualities and feminine energy is not going to be always based upon survival. So it's like, you can have both. You can go to college, make money, and still be immersed in your feminine energy. I don't think you don't have to be one without the other. I wasn't saying one cancels another out.
I hear you. That wasn't an attack on you. It's just, it comes up a lot in these conversations, but I agree with you. And I was just going to say the same, like we're capable of both. So good point.
Yeah. Mike Brown with the $2 super chat. You all are sleepy for sure. Will with the $5 super chat. Kevin, it's not personal. You should work on being more succinct for sure.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
No, Dana, I think you're not wrong. However, I think the sentiment is it's been shown hard to maintain both. From men's experience, based on what we're receiving now in the modern age, like, are women able to do all the things that men have to do? Because we don't have what Hood Mystic said, it's more than this, but the vagina. Are they able to do all these things that men have to do and still maintain that femininity that men are looking for and only know when they see it? So I guess that's probably a compound question, Yeah. But I think it's something that maybe we can explore.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be a good conversation to have.
Word. Let me read this one real quick. Perfect Wisdom with the $5 super chat. Hood Mystic, if you believe women are born with it, then why you ask what women bring to the table? He didn't ask.
I didn't ask that. I said that was a question that men ask that triggers women. I never asked my wife what she brought to the table.
Yeah, me neither. He was just giving an example based on the question Love asked. It might be Nay as Perfect Wisdom. Is that you, Nay? Oh, all right. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel the most. This has been a profound show. I think we had a lot of awesome takes and dialogues, and you should take away something from this, whether you're in the chat, on the panel, came up on the panel. I appreciate my brothers for coming up for sure. Perfect Wisdom, shout out to you, man. I feel like you sponsored the show today, along with Direction CYOP, and of course my brother Will, Jason, everybody who showed love. We humbly appreciate it. The next show is tomorrow. The original This Might Be Risky. The topic is men protecting themselves against women, from the whole 9 yards. Well, we're going to explore it. And as you can see, the tired conversation had a little bit of a spin on it. Hopefully we can do the same thing tomorrow. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to be a dope show. So tune in tomorrow. Now, I must be honest. Wednesday is a little bit different energy. Some is not accepted. Talking too much, you will get called out. It's just smoke. Like, if you get smoke, it is what it is. So, but I think I like it. I like it. And that is also a mixed panel if you haven't tuned in before. So it'll be the fellas and the ladies getting together to have the conversation. Jason in with the $10 super chat. Big Lex is my type.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Hey Lex, why you look like that? So like my brother Mr. Britt said, Wednesdays is smoke. You know what I'm saying? I'm very kind on Tuesdays. I'm not as kind on Wednesdays, right, Dana?
You're very kind on Tuesdays.
A little bit.
A little bit, not very.
Kind enough, shit. So listen, I don't really fuck with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. And Mystic, stay up for this, please. Big Lex, final thought.
Final thoughts. I think as a woman, it's important to evolve and to grow and to reflect on things that you would like to see yourself elevated for.
Word. Bro?
Women, don't be tired. Rest in knowing that your vulnerability is valued and it is okay to show off your femininity to the right man. So take your time.
Word. Tay?
The best way to apologize is with changed behavior, and listening is an action word.
Word. Dana?
I'm tired of the gender wars. Let's put the AKs down. You need me, I need you, we need each other. So let's work together.
Word. Love?
Actually, I'm going to echo those sentiments. Like gender wars and pointing fingers is played out. We realize on both sides of the aisle that we need each other. We love each other. We're better with one another. Black men, we need you. We love you. We appreciate you. And I know it's vice versa. Communication. If you did not grow up with it, or accountability did not grow up with it, it's never too late to learn the skill of accountability and the skill and art of communication. It will definitely benefit all of us across the board.
Word. Hood Mystic?
Just want to say, it's hard to fall in love with a human being before you fall in love with God. And I know that might seem cliche or hard to believe, but it's just my personal experience that once I began to love God, everything fell into place.
Word. Miss Nay?
We are tired. We are hella tired. Heal before you deal. Men heal, women heal. It helps to break generational cycles of trauma and toxic behaviors and responses.
Interesting, man. All great points. I agree. I think tired happens. Just don't become jaded, right? You got to be open and willing to listen and learn. In any situation, in every situation, you have some culpability. You are never not at fault, right? So every situation you go through, every conversation you have, try to assess what you could have done differently in said situation so that you can indeed improve, right? If you have an argument with a spouse or a significant other, you should always be apologizing, and so should they, because everybody could have done something different in that situation. Okay? It's very, very important not to point these fingers, right? And that corny ass shit where people say there's four pointing back at you, that's one cliche I agree with, right? So just assess that first and then move forward. I think we'll get better results. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend, and we out.